the table already set. No velvet rope, no test. Just make the thing you'd read yourself and leave the rest. Borrow hands for the rough cut. Keep your mind for the shape. Time moves different when you stop paying rent to pain. You're not late, you're in the window. The clock just learned a new way to bend. Working waves and disappear, come back ahead again. You're not buried by the noise, the list was never that long. You're not late, you're in the window. You've been here all along. You don't know the grind of promise. You don't know the fear of plan. Speed shows up quiet now when you let it lend a hand. Drafts don't have to hurt anymore. They just have to exist. Save your hours for the sentence you don't wanna miss. You're not late, you're in the window. The clock just learned a new way to bend. Working waves and disappear, come back ahead again. You're not buried by the noise, the list was never that long. You're not late, you're in the window. You've been here all Ask what it sees if it can't tell the lane. That's not a verdict, that's a change. Let the math talk so you don't have to pretend. Craft over typing, that's how you ascend. You're not late, you're in the window. The clock just learned a new way to bend. Working waves and disappear, come back ahead again. You're not buried by the noise, the list was never that long. You're not late, you're in the window. You've been here all along. Make good books, count the hours, choose the future you defend. You're not late, you're in the window, and it hasn't closed yet.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I know I'm changing it up with some country music. I don't actually like country music that much. We were punished with it as children. Christine can attest. I've got my sister with me here today. If we got in trouble in the car, Mom would put on country. And I'm not talking cute country. I'm talking like Conway Twitty country. Okay. It was not cute country. I always ascribed Alabama to I'm in trouble. You, Chris?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I'm not a big country fan. I'm more into folk music.
Folk?
and
Oh yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I
can do
love
the folk
I love
stuff.
murder folk.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of fun. So anything with like a banjo, but contemporary country's typically not my style.
Yeah.
Still great though, but not for me.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. And we have a fourth person coming and joining us. They're an important person, but they needed to eat first, which is always important.
Yes.
Okay. Come for the AI workflow, stay for the parenting hacks. That's what pumps up. All right. I've got one of my favorite sweatshirts on from the wonderful April Floyd. Get in, loser. We're going to go die of dysentery. So that's what I'm rocking today. Now, I do have a special warning for today. I want to give everyone a chance to go get their favorite adult beverage. There is math today. So I have brought a cup and I brought reinforcements. So I am going to go ahead and pour myself a glass so that as we're talking math, I don't have to, I don't have to pretend that this is fun. This is the wonderful thing about working for yourself. Your boss cannot get mad at you if you are drinking on the job. So Danny says, I read the notes, my head hurt. Okay, I do love Reba. Reba is a good country. Good country. All right, so I will raise a glass and cheers to all of us who are leaving 2025 behind with old mindsets and old ideas about prompting, such as mega prompting, and moving into the future with automation. So cheers to you for being here. All right, let's get dangerous, in the words of Darkwing Duck. We can do more of an intro today, I guess. I posted the notes ahead of time. Chris, you were in the living room when I worked on them. Lynn, you found typos. Do either of you have thoughts on the topic for today?
There's a lot there, a lot to unpack.
There is a lot, and I think that this is really exciting and really important because it's about changing your mindset and starting the year off right. You know, like I was really inspired, like just hanging out and watching you do the notes and everything like that, and asking questions and throwing in my 2 cents every once in a while.
Aside from the time I made you nauseous when I scrolled too fast.
Yeah, that was a bit much, but that's okay. You warned me in the future to close my eyes.
Yeah.
So.
For those who know, we were working in the family room today after watching that amazing finale of Heated Rivalry. We were dying. It was so good. It was so good. I want to watch it again just to relive that experience.
Yeah, that was no spoilers, but they did a great job.
Yeah. So Jen BB says, let's get some likes on the live to protect us from the impending math. The good news is you don't have to do any math. That's the beautiful part about this. The AI gets to do the math for you. So that's the wonderful, wonderful part. Okay, I'm going to jump right in because we have a lot of meat and potatoes, and I would like to also get into some fun things later. So I'm just going to do kind of an overview of the notes. I'm not going to read the notes to you like slideshow karaoke. We're not going to do that today. So Cassie, would you like to join? Are you ready? Are you thumbs up? Not yet. Your thumbs. You can also. Oh, I'll let you add yourself to the stage. There we go. There's Cassie.
Hey.
So I saw some people are grabbing your Claude Projects class.
Yeah, I hope that everybody enjoys it. It's a really simplistic, foundational. If you have any questions, please ask. I'm in Discord as well. So, yeah.
Awesome.
It's a really good stepping stone. I'm excited to get more standalones in Claude Projects.
Fantastic. So I have us at the bottom. And then, actually, I want to do it more like that one. Do we like that? I mean, are we too tiny? What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat if you want us bigger. But I think that this, I mean, I can have us down like this, but I think that covers up the notes too much. So.
I think small is good. I mean, we make up for it in personality, so it's okay.
Exactly. So there we go. Okay, so today's live is a doozy. If you are inspired by after today's live, but you're not in the mastermind and you want to get started, here are some of our standalone classes that relate on this topic. And I want to say thank you so much to Alyssa for putting this together. They need a link to the Discord. Can someone, the link, what is your Discord? Those are on the notes from last night. Hold on a minute. I will get them for you. Give me a second. 2026. Those were in last night's notes. And if you're not in the Discord, let me see if I can copy this link. Come back to the write-a-thon, come back to the automated author. We live to serve here. And I will put that in the comments. There you go. There is the link to that. And the link to your notes is in the description of the YouTube channel. So if you want to follow along with me, you can also always, in the top right of those notes, click duplicate and save them to your own Notion. That'll allow you to do all kinds of crazy stuff with this stuff. Sorry, my throat just suddenly got very, very dry. So some of the standalone classes that we've had that relate to this is serialization for authors, publishing 101. Here's another one of Cassie's classes, the AI-powered author's roadmap. That class is really great because it takes you through, Cassie, what you did and what was the time span of that one? I just asked you.
Oh, geez. I think it was like 3 months or something like that.
So 90 days. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was basically how you learned about AI, and then like within 90 days, you had a book in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is so inspiring. when I made Christine write her first book and publish it, it was longer.
It was. I was a little bundle of nerves the entire time, and she dragged me kicking and screaming, like, "No, it's not done yet." She's like, "Just publish it. Do it."
Nobody, because what do I always say? Nobody dies.
Nobody dies. That's true. Nobody does.
Nobody
die.
dies.
I just died on the inside, but not actually.
There you go. There you go.
So
And then we have the building better sequences of prompts for Raptorite. That class will be probably getting a update. See, April knows. She's heard it from me for many, many years. Nobody dies. Nobody dies. Just do it anyway. Nobody dies. So until December 31st, all of our classes are 50% off with code BF25. Today's song is there. You have your lyrics and you have the MP3 and also that little video. I've been trying to do that more. We're going to just jump right into the big ticket item here. I may or may not have pissed off a lot of people. Well, it was a team effort. I said what I said, but then the wonderful Tiffany Conan, who is a member of the FFA, she may have helped the message spread a little bit. I caused a little bit of a kerfuffle last week about predicting that I think at some point Amazon is going to close down KDP because it costs too much money for them, and they'll realize like they can just make the same amount of money, recapture the costs, and just use AI content. Anyone here think it's okay to disagree with me? It's totally okay if you think that I'm absolutely crazy on that. No comments.
I think the trad publishers would like to do that too.
I don't disagree, and I'm going to lay that out for you with the trad publishers, and I'll let you guys do your own math with Amazon because I already did it in a video 2 weeks ago, so that's already there. Jay says they'll never close KDP. Is said by the same people who said they'd never close Kindle Vella or Kindle Worlds or etc.
yeah.
So let's talk about traditional fiction acquisition. Now, this is a little bit hard sometimes for indies because we don't get to see this side. We don't get to see this side very much. Now, Lynn, you have extensive traditional publishing experience, correct?
I do. It's not pretty on that side. Trust me.
Gotcha. Somebody's Discord is making noises. Is it my Discord?
It's my Discord. I never really fully knew how to turn that off.
I ran into the same problem. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I have already lost what you said, Lynn. I apologize. I was distracted by the boops.
I just said it's not pretty on the trad side.
No, it's not. But I think that one of the reasons it's not pretty is because authors don't understand that an author is just one little piece of the puzzle. They're not the whole puzzle.
Well,
Authors-
they're just the product.
Yes.
And the product is the widget. And you're sort of treated like a widget.
And they kind of have to because I've been wearing the publisher hat for a while now, and I can say that your interests, here, we'll go back to the notes in a minute. Your interests as a publisher are not the same aligned as an author. I'm going to say that one more time. Your interest as a publisher is not aligned the same as if you're an author. Now, this changes depending on whether or not you are a publisher of one, like a solopreneur. Cassie, you're a publisher of one, right? You've only published yourself. Christine, on the other hand, is a publisher of many because she is you moving stuff on your desk is loud, but I love you.
Sorry. My apologies.
I didn't know if you knew that it was picking up all the sound.
Did not. The more you know.
The more
There
you
you
know. Christine, you have been working as the director of the Feature Fiction Press now for about 4 months since August.
Yes, correct.
And you've also been an author. Do you think that
correct.
Do you think you have the same leeway to make the decisions for a solo person as you do when you have to deal with the whole group?
I mean, no, of course not. Like when I'm thinking of the group for the press, like I got to think of like the health of all of it, of all of the pen names, of does it make sense that I'm publishing everything on time the way that it is, and having that, I mean, that creativity spike of like, whatever I want to do, I'm just going to do it because I'm really inspired by this new genre or this new thing. Like, I can't always pivot to that because I already have stuff in the pipeline that's coming out. So it
Right.
makes it a little bit slower. But as an individual, like, yeah, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. So it is nice, but it also means that it's a lot of work too. So, but
Like,
AI,
wear your hats.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's different when you're a publisher. So I just want to bring that up because I myself have been very critical and very unforgiving of TradPub and how their systems work. Like, one day I'll have to do the party trick of showing how the house always wins when it comes to TradPub. When you get an advance, they're never going to pay you another dollar unless they're profitable. That's how the system is set up. It's set up to where whatever they pay you in an advance, they're not going to pay you another penny until they have basically earned out 4 times that amount. So like if they pay you $10,000, you're not getting another penny until they've made 40 grand on that book. And there's a reason for that. And I'm going to show that right now with the notes. And I used to be very critical about that. I'm like, they don't care about you. That's right. They don't just care about you, the author. They also care about their acquiring editor, the person who works there all the time and is going through all the slush pile. They care about their assistant editor. They care about the developmental editor that they have. They care about their copy editor. Now, in time gone by, these people used to be on salary. Unfortunately, in today's publishing landscape, and other people can back me up on this in the comments, a lot of these positions are no longer full-time positions. I would say developmental editor and copy editor have all moved to contract positions. You can still find full-time acquiring and assistant editor positions. Now, acquiring editor, assistant editor, does that mean the person who actually edits the book? No. It's so strange. Considering the industry has language, it's based on language. Why do we use the same word, editor, editor, editor? Editor in an acquiring editor standpoint means someone who has the authority to say, I like that book, it's going on the slate. The assistant editor goes through a bunch of books to tell the acquiring editor which top 3 or 4 they like, so that the acquiring editor can go, I like this one. And then the developmental editor is somebody who works with a book, just works with the book about all the plotting and everything. Sometimes an acquiring editor is also a developmental editor. Also, sometimes, I have to say this too, sometimes they're dumb. Sometimes they're real dumb. Sometimes there's somebody who acquires books. I've actually seen this happen. A friend of mine got a contract with a small press that's with a TradPub now, and they were writing military romance. Okay, so United States military romance, United States, U.S. SEALs specifically. And she wrote the book where it took place out of the country, and then the acquiring editor said, nope, you have to place this in Texas. They have to be on mission in Texas.
I remember that.
He got roasted in the comments by all of the readers of military romance who are like, the United States military cannot operate a mission inside of U.S. borders. Like, no, they could be training, but they can't be running and not only that, they have them running a drug cartel mission in Texas, posing as Rangers, and they're Navy SEALs. This was not the author's fault. This was, you better write what I say you're going to write, or you're not going to have your contract anymore. And that's just, I promise the Future Fiction Press will never ask you to write something that factually incorrect. Nope, I was an American editor. This is what happens sometimes when people trace trends and they look at the metadata without any common sense.
And most editors are from New York. And
yes.
New York doesn't know what happens outside of New York.
It does not.
Mm-hmm.
I had an editor one time. If you're familiar with Texas, you know what a live oak tree is, right? It's an evergreen oak.
Yeah.
Well, she was taking out all the lives, and she said, well, if it's a tree, it's alive. It's an oak tree. And she said, there must be something wrong because you're the third author I've seen this week that talks about live oaks.
Heaven forbid they Google it and find out that the live oak is an actual tree.
Oh, that was way before Google.
Oh,
That was before the internet.
oh my gosh, poor Lynn. They needed an Encyclopedia Britannica, which is all I ever wanted as a kid, by the way. All those commercials for the World Book or the Encyclopedia Britannica, I would watch them with rapt attention and just wish that one day we would get an encyclopedia. We never did.
What show was it that you could win an encyclopedia? Was it Truth or Dare or like Double Dare?
I think so. I don't know, but it's why I wanted to go on the show, was to win an encyclopedia.
Yeah, there was some like prize that it was like that, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so boring, but not to Elizabeth.
So your sister. Then we got the Girl Ear CD, and I just read that one summer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Carmen Sandiego got you encyclopedias.
That's okay. That's what it was. Yeah. I would still be
Yeah.
on Carmen Sandiego. That's cool. That would be dope.
That is true. So
Yeah.
at any rate, TradPub has these salaries and benefits and things that we don't have to deal with. But the conservative internal cost per title before marketing, I want to stress this. This is before marketing. We're going to be talking most of these about before marketing. Is $25,000 to $50,000 before a single sale. That's what it costs for them to cover all those salaries for a book and also the advance. And that's not even a big advance. That's usually a modest advance in like the $5,000 to $10,000 range. So I want you to understand that for traditional publishing, they're still paying tens of thousands of dollars to acquire a book. And that just means they have made the contract, they have paid the advance, they have put it in the pipeline, and it has to go through so many different departments that then they also have the downside, because this is a real cost. Time is a cost. They acquire it. It takes 12 to 24 months to get that book in stores. So that is just a little bit about where AI is going to really take a chunk out of this, because I want you to take a look at what we're doing in the Future Fiction Press. We don't acquire names. Oh, go ahead.
That length of time though, just out of just for this discourse, do you think that will change though with AI helping logistics? I mean, I'm assuming that's more of like a logistics issue of why there's such a delay, or what happens?
They've been trying, but there are some traditional publishers who are avant-garde, and they have been experimenting with electronic first. So they've actually been able to get books from conception to the actual like ebook stores within 30 to 90 days. Problem comes, and you'll know this, Chris, because you used to do international shipping. All the books are printed in China. All of the books are printed in China. So you have, I mean, what kind of a lead time is that at least?
I mean, it just depends really on the route, but I mean, it could be like 12 days. It can be, I mean, like 12 days. It could be like a month even. So
and that's just for the boat to leave and the boat to arrive.
Yeah.
That's not time to get the books in the store. So then you start going, okay, now you have to count backwards from it getting on the boat in China. And that means that the printer has to have some kind of leeway to actually run the order and all of that, and also fit it in all of their other orders.
Yeah.
So then it makes it onto the boat, and then the boat brings the books over, and then the books go to the warehouse, and then the warehouse goes to the store. Now, some publishers have advertised that they have been bringing AI into these systems, their logistics systems, to help smooth over the inevitable things that the humans drop. Like when humans are involved in this role, it's like if somebody's out on vacation for a week, well, now if they're the ones who are approving who are stamping all the orders, trust me, I've worked in manufacturing, I've worked in logistics. Stranger things have happened. Somebody goes on vacation, and then there's like a backlog, and nobody planned for it. It's like, what do you mean? The one person with the stamp is gone.
Yeah. And bringing up stamps, just going back to China, they have their golden week where everything shuts down. So like if everything is coming from, that was always a disaster of trying to get everything in beforehand. So anyway,
and that's a big deal too. The cultural differences, the holidays are different. Golden Week is at the end of the year, or is it in the middle of the year?
No, it's after Christmas.
It's after Christmas. Yeah. Okay. End of the year.
Yeah.
I could not remember. It's I'm confusing it with F1 shut down in the summertime.
Don't try to get anything done with Europe in August.
Yeah, that's it. Europe in August is just closed. So, but you can start thinking about this because there's times that the United States is kind of like closed. We also are pretty much closed the end of December, but also that first week in July. You ever try to get somebody on the phone the first week of July? It's not going to happen. So you start stacking these things, and international business gets very messy very quickly.
Yeah. I know it's a little bit of a tangent, but it's just wondering, is AI, do you think that AI is going to impact that lead time at all?
Yeah. And so the AI already is. The AI for a lot of these big publishing companies is able to get the order like in real time now. And this was actually not saying Walmart's good, but one of the technologies that Walmart really championed was RFID, which is all what modern retail uses now. They know exactly when a product leaves the door so that another product to replace it can ship to that store. Target uses this technology as well, where it's like as soon as some get bought, they get shipped back, unless the buyer at the top level has said, nope, no more of that product at that store. It's getting replaced by something else. So retail is fascinating and very underpaid. April says that Alaska is closed when the salmon start running.
How long do they run for? Oh my goodness.
So there is that. Zedekiah says, but don't they also want the author they select to have an established social media presence with a large built-in audience? I didn't think they tend to go with unknown authors very often. It just depends on what it is. Lately, there's been a lot of big like debut author in new genres making a big splash. Very famously, Silver Elite by Danny Francis. That author's profile had no social media whatsoever, and that was a very big example that there was a lot of marketing put behind that book. My opinion is that book, it was written with AI. Now, whether or not the author disclosed that to the publisher or they were just testing, I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of AI-isms in that book. And this is not about M dashes or anything like that. That particular book has sentence construction that is AI. You can see it in the first chapter. There's a part in the first chapter, if you want to look at the sample, the young child character who's supposed to be 5 years old. AI was famous for this late last year. The human character knows what it is before the action occurs. I'll give you an example. The 5-year-old character in this book reaches down and picks up a skull in pitch black dark. She comments that she knows it's a skull. Then she asks her uncle if it was what it was, and he says a rock. And then the narrator says, even at 5 years old, I couldn't be fooled. That's not a human. There's no human that would write that. I would not write down, I reached down and picked up a skull in the pitch black dark. You would write it, I reached down and my hands touched something foreign. You would describe what the skull feels like, then lift it up. And then somehow the way that you touch the sinew and the holes or whatever, or the teeth or something to make you think that it's a skull. So
oddly shaped bowling ball.
An oddly shaped bowling ball.
It's got the holes, but it's not positioned right.
It's out of the forest.
Sorry, it's kind of dark. My bad.
That's Cassie's department.
It's true. So.
Cassie, in a book, can you put someone picks up a skull in the dark, but it's a oddly shaped bowling ball?
I've written worse.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were going to say that we squeaked you out. Are you a size 6 bowling ball with your skull or a size 10? Oh. So yeah, that's the you can check it out for yourself. It's called Silver Elite. It was one of the bestsellers this past year. And again, it's just my opinion. I do not have any proof or anything like that. I'm not slandering the book. I'm just trying to say that there are writing patterns in there that I work with AI enough that I really recognize them. When you try to read just even that first chapter, there's a lot of meandering conversations, a lot of echolalia. just a lot of things that if this was human written, it should have been rejected by an editor, in my opinion. The reason I keep saying in my opinion is because then it's not slander. It's just my opinion. Okay. So, talking about us again, back to us. We're never going to get through these notes. The Future Fiction Press, we're going to, at the end here, really go into a deep dive on our plans for 2026, which anyone in the mastermind or accelerator will get a front row seat to. But we produce IP on a system. So our per book cost going into 2026. This is not where we started. This is what we're moving to. Doing a fixed and known cost of $200 or less per book in AI costs. And then capping human editing at 2 passes for $1,000. We started off with $100. So we're raising it in the new year. And then that way our per book cost is $1,200. That's a very big far cry from 25,000 to 50,000. That's a huge difference. Now, if we were trying to do something like TradPub and we had to have people on salary, we would be paying more than $1,200 per book, but we still would not be paying $25,000 to $50,000. It would be actually I had to do these projections when we were talking to a big press last year. They didn't get to see them. We didn't get that far, but I figured it out, and it would be something in the range of anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 to acquire a book using AI, even if you're using full-time people and trying to go more like a TradPub methodology. So that's still a savings for them of like over 50%. 50% of our subscription money goes back to the authors. 20% of net goes back to the authors/editors. We have no advances, no idle labor, and no sunk costs waiting 18 months to launch. So that's just a little bit about us and what we're building. But let's talk about you, because you're the important part, right? You're a solo author. Let me know in the chat how many of you are solo authors. You're working alone, or if you have a partner or somebody who works with you, even if it's just an editing partner, maybe there's only like 2 or 3 of you. Let us know in the chat if you are a person who is working as a one person, if you have maybe like a small team, like 2 or 3. Cassie, how big is your team?
Me, myself, and I.
Me, myself, and I. Lynn?
About that, yes.
Yep.
I do have some assistants, but
That's true. Yep. Louise has a co-writer, so there's a good example there. Jay says that it's him and all the voices in his head. You know what? When the voices in my head are just loud, I just call it a staff meeting. Yep. Done collaborations. Okay. So let's talk about some baseline assumptions per book. Okay. For this example, for this exercise, and this is just an exercise, and I want everyone to, number 1, have your adult beverage handy, and then also get your phone or a calculator. You can have a calculator. Okay, so we're going to walk through this math. We're going to assume 75,000 words for a book. Now, I know some genres are shorter, some genres are longer. Can we all agree that 75,000 words is a good average length of book? We good? Okay. And this was the big thing. This is the first thing that most people are going to trip over, including the AI. I'm going to put this out here and I'm going to highlight it in pink. And I want to ask my panel here, 5,000 publishable words per 2 hours. Now, I think that looks scary on its own. But I would love to know, if you really think about it, what is your actual experience working with AI and editing it?
oh yeah, absolutely doable.
It's very doable. Yeah.
Like 2 chapters in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Run it, fix it. How fast does Claude usually take? Even if you're prompting it, maybe you go like 2 or 3 times around. Cassie, how many times does it take for you to get Claude to write you a chapter?
Oh boy. So I've been getting it to write 3,000 words for 1 chapter.
Okay.
So probably like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then you spend more time obviously reading through that. And I think if you give an hour for that, an hour, meaning you could do 30 minutes now where you read through it and then 30 minutes a few days later to give that chapter another read through.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. So there you go. So this is the big, I'm going to put an emoji here. we're gonna use the stupid sparkles, the AI sparkles. I'm gonna put that there where when I'm trying to denote something that this is something that really comes about because of AI. Now the question becomes, was this available before AI? No, not really. And I say that as somebody who did 8 books in a year. Lynn, before AI, before dictation, etc., how fast, like, do you know what some of your speeds were?
Well, because I was working full time, I had to give up my contract because I couldn't do 4 books a year. And how many people during November, if they're used to do the nano,
Right.
that's 1,600 words a day. People were having trouble doing that, and you couldn't keep it up.
Right. So yeah, it's not, I would say that before AI, when I was just typing, because of the pain, I would only be able to do about 2 sprints per hour, and I could only do usually 2 to 4 sprints per hour. And a sprint for me typing was between 500 and 1,000 words. So most days I got between 1,000 and 3,000 words for the whole day. That was the whole day. That wasn't like 2 hours. That was the whole day. Once I moved to dictation, though, I could get 1,500 to 3,000 words per hour. So, and Rachel has to brag a little bit. I can get 1,600 words in 10 seconds. And anti-gravity. And I don't know if that was Chase or Lily. Lily?
Chase.
Oh, that was Lily.
Lilykins. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So does everyone agree the core labor per book, if we're going with this, very reasonable production speed, if you take 75,000 words and you divide it by 5,000 words, you get 15 blocks of time times 2 hours is 30 hours. It would be about 30 hours for drafting and going through at least once to get them publishable. Are we good? Or now the cognitive disconnect comes in, right? But ask yourself if it's because of a lack of discipline that you're not getting the editing done, or if it's actually too hard to actually just get it done in 30 hours. No. I'm not moving on until everyone says that they've got it, that they're good. I can drink my wine. My panel is being awfully quiet.
I mean, listen, I was excited if I did 700 words in a day when I was writing. Anytime that I've started writing one of the many stories that I decided I'm going to publish this, but did not. But anyway, so yeah, like I would 5,000. That's that would be awesome to do.
So 15 blocks. That's 1 2-hour block for 2 weeks. And do a double on one day. That's it. Okay. I did give everyone a very luxurious 5 hours to plan that book out. That's 5 hours to work on your dossier and all of that. And then cover creation. I'm giving you guys 2 hours per book. Now, I'm going to just show our faces for a second here, because I'm seeing some comments and I think that they're important. So some people are saying sounds exhausting, but good. Yeah, don't worry. I have a plan down there for somebody who only has 10 hours a week to work on that. Somebody says I'm lazy and hate editing.
I feel that.
Alyssa says those numbers work. The biggest thing is actually tracking time to realize it can actually take that long. That is where it breaks. As soon as I see it in 30 hours, I'm like, no. But here's the sad part. I freaking did it on YouTube in the summertime in less than 12 hours. I wrote Bridesmaids and Bourbon. April and I a few weeks ago. Does everybody remember the fantasy assassin bedtime story that we read out loud? And we did like something like 7,000 words in an hour. Our human brains haven't caught up to the speed at which AI allows us to move through story. And that's okay. We're all working on that. I don't know when it's going to happen. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was reading what Catherine
Catherine?
Denon Burgles. I totally understand that, but that's why I really love using AI to help me write the first draft to get it out, because then I'm excited to like discover it and I'm getting that dopamine hits while I'm editing it. So that's what's been great for me anyway.
I had to get the
So-
dopamine hit by not looking at it right. I had to look at it like I had to do the gladiator method. I had to just like look at it as a full book and
Mhm.
make changes to it. But yeah, if your dopamine doesn't work like that, you can always go chapter by chapter and fix it as you go. For sure. Lorna says that she used to dictate 5,000 words per hour per day, and then have to transcribe. Okay. This is something that's important too. I have to stop trying to I think that's to be perfect during running and editing rounds. Go read Silver Elite. Go read some books. Go read some books and be a little bit of a jerk. Go read some books and be like, I can do better than this, because you probably can. And that's okay, because that's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
Come on, Dasha. Here's the reality. Nobody dies. Sorry, my heater's on and now my feet are toasty. Absolutely nobody dies. If there's a typo in your book, if there's a plot hole or anything, I'm not suggesting you put out crap. Remember, rule number 1 that we said in the song is read what you would enjoy reading. Write what you enjoy reading. But make yourself happy. If you've made yourself happy, then that's a human that's happy. One customer served, start there.
Yeah.
But perfection, I always think, is the enemy of done, for sure. Catherine, I wanted to speak to too. I agree with your numbers. I will not be showing these calculations to my husband because he will question what I do all day. My hypothesis is that just because we can get more done in 2 hours doesn't mean we should multiply that by 4. I don't think anybody should be doing 8 hours of writing a day the way, like I did lives doing that, and I was dead for 2 days after that.
Yeah.
Our processor
There's-
up here is not.
Yeah, there's a cost there to being
There's a cost.
creative and learning. There's a cost there. So you can only do so much. Your brain needs to sleep.
I definitely have like learned that I can only really do 2-hour sprints at a time before I'm like, I need a nap. I need to do something else. I need to go out for a walk. I need some coffee. I need something to recharge, because then everything goes downhill. And then it's like, what's the point in editing or writing if I'm not even enjoying it at this point? It's just, it feels more like work.
Yeah, the 8-hour workday was never designed with an AI workforce in mind. The 8-hour workday was actually never even designed for, I hate the white collar versus blue collar kind of denotation there, but the truth is like an 8-hour workday is a completely arbitrary number that somebody pulled out of their butts to try to make a labor dispute go away, because before that they were making them work 12 hours. So, Chris, you want to correct me if I'm wrong on that?
No, I just remembered hearing that it had something to do with like taxes or something like that. That they had to come up with like hours and come up with like some rule, because probably what you're talking about, a labor dispute.
Yeah, the
but-
labor movement
yeah.
of the early 20th century.
Mhm.
Prior to minimum wage, at least in the United States, prior to any of this,
Yeah.
the idea of an 8-hour workday is a completely arbitrary, some dude, and I know it is a dude who was like, but not just a dude. I think there's like this, like there was this concept of what, like 8 hours sleep,
Yeah.
8 hours of work, 8 hours to yourself. Like that's somehow the golden ratio. It's not, by the way. That's the golden ratio is not 1 to 1 to 1.
Right.
So, and I think that is something that gets lost when everyone, I mean, how many of you have ever put pressure on yourselves with your writing business that you should be working 8 hours a day
Yeah.
if you're full time? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm full time. I'm doing this full time. I should be able to do 8 hours in a day.
Well, Eldon's right in that, yes, you could do it one day, but then probably for the next 3 days, you're
Or even a
worthless.
week. Maybe you don't even want to look at your story for a whole week and you're like, I need a break.
Yep. Or
Um,
the reels that you see where it's like, how many ways can I say like they said, that you just get like cognitive dissonance. They shout
I will look at
like-
words where I can't remember how to spell restaurant anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I got to spell that all the way out. I hear you says, I've heard the same about corporate work. Somehow they think if all the routine work is taken away, we could do 10 hours of high level work. Yeah. And that's the antithesis of this. You cannot do 10 hours of the high work each day. Okay. So let's go back to the notes. And you guys are going to see this. I did put my opinion in there later on about how we're going to work here. Okay. So we're all good with the these numbers. Go away. Because I was highlighting something. Stop it. Go. No. Stop highlighting. Oh, gee, Rusifit. I don't know what happened. Okay. So we have here 30 hours of writing, 5 hours of planning, 2 hours of cover creation. Yes, I'm only giving you 2 hours. Okay. You can literally whip up a cover in 15 minutes. I'm giving you 2 hours. If you go beyond 2 hours, you better write a justification note to your manager, which is yourself, as to why you need to go beyond 2 hours. And then AI assisted marketing. Now this 10 hours thing, I know some of you are going to be like, Elizabeth, what is this mythical 10 hours? We actually have a woman who does marketing for the Future Fiction Press. You all know her as, I don't ever know which name she uses with us. I mean, I know Christina. You guys know Christina teaches the marketing classes. She actually works part-time and she would routinely do like 1 book's worth of marketing in 10 hours. Now, is this marketing for the whole year? No, that's a separate line item. That's a separate thing. That's a separate department, shall we say. This is just about getting the publishing going. But 10 hours of marketing, that's 10 hours to get it uploaded to your website. That's 10 hours to get it up on the different vendors. That's 10 hours to maybe write an email with AI marketing. Chris, you've been doing AI marketing. Do you think that 10 hours is good enough for getting the marketing that needs to be done for just the release of the book?
It can be. It just depends on how well you understand that genre. So if you're writing in a genre that you don't know, you're probably going to need to do a little bit more research maybe and buff that up. But I mean, as a professional author, like you probably know it before you get into it, right?
Right. So handy dandy. I added a stuff happens buffer of 15%. So 47 hours is what it added up to for a book as a solopreneur with AI assistance. And then I went ahead and added in another 7 hours. Is everyone comfortable with this concept of if you gave yourself 54 hours, if you actually time block that out over a month or a couple of weeks, however you wanted to do it, are you guys comfortable with that? Those of you who have written AI books and published them, can it be done in 54 hours? I've done it.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, Thomas Donnelly's here and he is like, love us psychopaths. All right, I'm not going to move on until everyone's okay to move on. Everyone's a yes.
It
Everybody
sounds doable.
drink your adult comfort beverage, whatever it is. All right, now for the fun part. Annual capacity by work schedule. So I'm assuming 52 weeks a year, no vacations. Now you can put vacations in. This is just, it's not my experience that writers actually stop writing on vacation. Does anyone have an experience where they went on vacation and they did not write? Let me know. I'd like to know you. I'd like to meet you.
I did in October because I got sick on vacation.
That's not the same thing. If you're sick, that's different. I mean, not writing on vacation.
Okay, so I have forcibly put away my computer. But does coming up with ideas include that? Because
yeah, you're still working there. I need to understand you people that are like, does burnout in the hospital? No, that's not a vacation. Stop. We need to get in touch with our European side. Okay. Put the American side away, but fine. 52 weeks a year. We're all going to be workaholics. Here we go. So super part-time author, 10 hours a week. This person doing 54 hours per book and they have 520 hours per year. They can do about 9 books a year. Now this rounds it down. Your actual books per year is 9.6. That's closer to 10, but we're saying you're going to get 9 out the door. I did 8 books once upon a time in a year before AI, and that was not 10 hours a week. I can tell you that right now. How many of you would be very happy to get 9 books out a year? in the chat. Yeah. How many of you think you can find about 10 hours a week to work on this? Remembering that 9 books has a 15% buffer time in there. So I think it's still a win even if you get 6 books in. So it's 1 book every 6 weeks. The Quiet Machine. The part-time author. This is somebody who is usually they have something in their like regular life that takes up an equal amount of time, and they have about 20 hours a week. So this is somebody who may be a caregiver for another person, and then they're using like what would usually be hobby time to do their job. I've been this author before. I've been a full-time mom, homeschooler, and then I literally had to write between like 5 a.m. and 7:30 in the morning, so 2.5 hours to get 10 hours during the week, and then I would do another writing session for about an hour in the evenings, and then I would always do at least a stint on the weekend. That's how I got my 20 hours. I've been in that boat before. It's not a very fun boat. Yes, or a professional screenwriter writing movies as a day job. Exactly, Thomas.
Yeah.
In the comments there. But this author doing 20 hours a week, 19 books a year, that puts you solidly on small press territory. There are some small presses that only do about 20 books a year, and they're proud of it. Like, oh, we only put out 20 books a year, 20 titles a year. Great, good for you. This is an author that's really not going to see a lot of dividends for their work until probably year 2 or year 3, because that's when your backlist really starts striding, and that's when you start having 40, 50, 60 books.
Yeah.
Okay. The full-time author. Notice I'm defining the full-time author as 30 hours a week. Okay. I think this is a fair amount of time. I think this is really full-time when we're talking about publishing work. When I work 30 hours in a week, I feel like I worked full-time. Anyone else?
Yeah, that's
It includes naps.
totally reasonable.
It includes naps. I don't count my nap time as being on the clock, Cassie.
Naps are
I mean,
plotting.
Naps are required for creativity.
Yes, but you're not on the clock for the nap. But this person doing 30 hours a week. So even if you're in the 20 to 30 hours, that's 28 books a year.
Yeah.
28 books a year. And then I labeled the 40 hours a week obsessed. The obsessed author. If you are obsessed with success, you are obsessed with, because 40, this is I should be calling this the road to burnout. Okay. This is a burnout.
Yeah.
If you are writing 40 hours a week, it is burnout. I'm so sorry. But this is 38 books per year, and this is more books a year than some of the prestigious medium-sized presses put out. So just so you understand, you are competing with big companies. And here you are with AI right there. The identity, industrial publisher in a trench coat. So this is a reality they're not ready for. Big publishing is not ready for this reality. We aren't ready for this reality. I do know some authors who are working like this, and they are in AI writing for authors, and they're killing it, but I think they're also killing themselves. That's my opinion. So the summary table, if you are super part-time, 10 hours a week, you could be publishing up to 675,000 words a year. No, it also included 10 hours of marketing time per book. So it doesn't include like additional marketing if you want to add additional marketing. This is just production. This is just production for that. But the production does include 10 hours for marketing, and it also includes, because truthfully, like, we're going to be real here. What's the best marketing you can do for your pen name?
Publish it.
Publish another book.
Yep, your next book.
Yes.
I was
You
gonna say
wanna know?
backlist.
Yeah.
New books.
The best.
New books.
Exactly. Lazy Lady Jan says more book. Yes. There. No, it is not TikTok. That is not correct. The amount of time that you'll put into TikTok versus your returns versus you just put out another book. Put out another book.
Yeah. There was an author who would teach like you, and I love this author. He's very successful, runs his own press, all that kind of stuff. And he would profess write 3 books, do not publish until you're done with your 3 books. Then you do 1 month, second month, third month, and it'll just keep hitting. But the problem is that long term, your readers get kind of mad at you because you can't keep up that pace. With AI, you potentially could, maybe, but
Or-
like not.
Yeah, there's been
Not the way
different
that he was
gimmicks at
writing it.
different times.
Yeah.
So before that author said what he said, there was another technique called the Liliana Hart technique, which was write 5 books, and you would release 3. You'd have 1 on pre-order, and you'd have 1 in the hole, so that you could keep going. That was another technique in early. Now there's a question here about what about both. Let me say something that is really not popular. Okay, and I've been a book marketer. Okay. If you are stressed out, drop the TikTok. And here's why. There is no amount of social media marketing, and I've been doing this since 2011, that is going to give you the long-term benefits versus writing another book in the store. It's slow growth. It's not exciting growth. It's not sexy growth when you put out another book and you're growing incrementally, because the way it works with a backlist is that it is a J curve. It is exponential. So the very beginning part is going to be snooze fest. Okay. Even with my Jaff books, as much money as they made, I actually lost money every time I put out a book. I made less money per book for my first 5 titles. Like my first book did really well. Every single release after that, the 30-day, the amount of money it made in 30 days was lower and lower and lower. Thank God I didn't look at it. I had no idea. Because if I had known, I would have probably told myself, I suck. I'm losing readers. I'm not gaining readers. But something happened when I got to book 6, 7. Oh God. Sorry, middle schoolers, parents. As soon as I got to the 6th book, all of a sudden, every book after that for like the next couple made way more money, to the point that like my 9th book made something like $10,000 in the first 30 days. So publishing is a long game, and there is absolutely nothing long tail about TikTok. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is anyone sharing TikToks from 4 years ago as like, ooh, this is a hot new thing? Oh, she's like, stop. It's not
What, you
nice,
said-
right?
Did you just ask if 4 years ago people were sharing TikTok? If it was like new?
No, if there are older TikToks that people are like, you gotta check out this TikTok. Like the algorithms just consume it. Everything
In and
is
out.
now,
Yeah.
now.
Right. No, you're right.
So this is
And then, like, also you have to think about it, like, how often you yourself are you clearing out people that you have liked, people that you have decided to follow. You know, they're always going to be in the background. There's going to become like you're going to end up having a huge list. In the end, it's going to be too much to like just sort through it and unfollow people that you don't want to follow anymore. So even though they're like, if somebody likes and wants to follow like you as an author, they'll probably continue to like and follow you as an author as long as you keep producing books.
Yeah.
If you're not producing books, then you know it'll eventually fall off.
I haven't published a book since on my Elizabeth Ann West name. I have not published a new book on that name since June of 2022. Do you know I still am getting emails from my readers asking me when the next book is coming out? I do. They're like, oh, I just discovered this series that you've been working on. Is there going to be another book? And I'm like, sure, yes. In 2026 there will be, because April Floyd's going to kick my butt. But yeah, it's the truth, Cassie. If you build organically, those people will stay with you. All of my stuff was built organically. I didn't do newsletter, like I didn't do like pay to play kinds of games or gimmicks, or like a Tiffany giveaway. So I got a whole bunch of people to sign up that aren't interested in Pride and Prejudice just so they could enter for a diamond ring. I didn't do any of those things because I looked at it as being like, you're putting all this money forward. Do you know that there was authors once upon a time who would give away a Kindle a day, a Kindle Fire a day? They would give away a $200 Kindle Fire a day. as marketing, and then like all work together. Yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah.
back then they were, Amazon was letting you buy, 100 for 49 a piece or something. That was
Yeah,
what
if you
was
could do like
pushing it.
a big thing. Harper has a good point here too. What I love is if you have a significant number of books in your backlist and whale readers find you, your income goes way up because if they like you, they'll read all your books. I think that is very valid. I like in finding a new author like dating. I do not waste my time with an author who only has one book because I'm going to like it and then I'm going to be mad. It's like worse than a breakup. You didn't even get a call after the first date. You had this great first date and you didn't even get a call back.
If it's a series, if it's like part of a series and there's only one book or two books out and they're publishing one a year or something, I'm like, there better be like some amazing reviews or something for me to get invested in this, because I feel like I'm heading for heartbreak. Yes. Like, are you just dropping this?
All right, so let's answer some questions here. What is a whale reader? There's a couple of different definitions, but most of us probably fall in this distinction. Do you ever Saturday or a Sunday or just a weekend where you read like 3 or 4 books in a row? You are a whale reader. Some whale readers are described as somebody who like that is their primary form of entertainment. They read multiple books a day. A lot of times there are people who are retired or people who are a lot of retired English teachers are whale readers, by the way. But yeah, a whale reader is someone who it's like binge watching a show on Netflix. Exactly.
Yeah.
Whale readers are exactly that. Somebody who reads more than one book a day, or they regularly binge books. So I have been known that I liked a book by an author. I will just go choo, 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 get the next 5 books in the series. Because I'm going to sit there and read through them. And I justify it as it's not cocaine.
Yeah.
Christy, you didn't hear what I said, really, did you?
I did. It's not cocaine.
It's not cocaine.
I did. I've always thought of whale meaning like they'll spend whatever money to have what they want. There are no barriers that are going to keep them from enjoying this thing that they have discovered, that they've loved. They're going to throw themselves into it like full throttle, buying all the merch, all the things, pre-ordering all of your stuff. So if you have that backlist ready for them, they're ready for you.
They're ready for you.
Yep. They're just like, shut up and take my money.
Yes. One of the reasons I started writing Jane Austen fan fiction is because there wasn't any new Jane Austen fan fiction and I was jonesing and I needed one. I needed a hit. I had just had to quit a job as a director of a childcare facility at a casino, which was as terrible as that sounds. It was exactly that. Working at a daycare in a casino till 2:00 in the morning, and parents showing up, little babies, 6 weeks old, being dropped off, and they don't have the money to pay for the bill, so you have to call security. Oh, it was awful. I never wanted. I lasted less than 90 days there. So I went home, and of course I'd been fighting with my ex-husband at the time, and I needed a new Darcy book, and there wasn't a new one. I'm like, I'll write my freaking own. I want to write, and that was the trouble with horses. And so, yeah, I literally started off with Reader Zero. But before that, I would routinely pay $50 to $100 in a month to get books to read for the month, not even questioning it, because that was my hobby. Most of us have a hobby that we will plunk down $20 a month for. Even if you are income limited, you usually can find $20 that you want to spend on yourself. And they do show in studies that even in like times of tight economies, people don't usually sacrifice completely their entertainment, like makeup or movies or things like that. They usually find some way they'll scale it back, but they usually find some way to keep it.
Yeah.
Okay, more math. Are we having fun? I feel like we need a song. So this is the summary table. I think that this is very powerful. I think that you guys should print this out and like sit with it a little bit. Even I have a hard time with it. I will be honest with you. I have a hard time looking at this because I am an experienced author and go, no effing way can I do 10 hours a week and then publish over 500,000 words. That is banana pants to me. once upon a time, there was a really big movement in the indie author world. Like you were really elite and top of the tops if you published 1 million words in a year. And here we have the next tier, 20 hours a week is 1.4 million. So we're not even, the obsessed people are at almost 3 million words. Now, as automations and stuff get better in 2026, we're going to be able to do even more with this IP that we are producing at a breakneck speed. Oh dear, no, come back, go back.
I'm always shocked when I go into your first draft and it keeps track of how many words I've written.
Yep. Okay, so what do you do with this? All right. So this is the part where you can tap out if you would like to. You can stop here. This is the first exit gateway off of the roller coaster. Number 1 is try it. Pick Raptorite, Claude Projects, whatever, and see what it takes you to draft and edit a good book, one that you enjoy reading. Okay, that's the bar. I don't care what genre it is. Don't worry about what it's going to sell. Yeah, that comes later. Okay, just write a book that you enjoyed reading. Step 1. Step 2, adjust the models as needed. We're going to model a solo author being an entrepreneur in 2026 and how they'll automate the author business. So to make this, so this is actually the prompt. I should put that in the notes. Sorry about that. So this is a prompt. I'm giving you a prompt. The green button, the green are what you should change. So we are going to, we're going to go ahead and grab this prompt. And we're going to do this. I need a volunteer from the audience. So read over your notes in the prompt and start putting in your numbers that you want me to do. I will pick somebody. Meanwhile, over here, I'm going to do the example. So I'm going to show you how we're going to change this. We're going to change it live. And if nobody wants to participate, then we'll use somebody from the panel. So let's be really bratty about it. Okay. I don't know if anyone in the chat has caught up with us yet, but if somebody has a number of books, oh, Rachel says she will. Okay, so how many words per book did you want to write, Rachel? If you just go down the list, I'll ask the questions and I'll see them in the chat. So instead of 75,000 words, how many thousands of words do you want your books to be? Okay, Emma came back with 125,000 words, so I'll model that one too. Okay, but we'll do Rachel first and then we'll do the Emma. So I'm going to do 90,000. Type it in. 15 hours a week, 3 books. I don't know that thing. Okay. So then the next thing is how many working hours to get X number of words. So 15 hours. So you got to do it the way I have it. I know you guys are giving me numbers. This is a little bit tricksies. So basically just tell me like how many thousands, how many hours, working hours does it take you to create X thousands of words? That's the next one. So like you could say, I want to see if it takes me 5 hours to do 5,000 words. It can take me 3 hours to do 5,000 words. Just let me know in the comments. Should probably do this with the panel. We killed it. The comments are dead.
Yeah.
Dead, Fred. Okay, we're gonna go with the panel. That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
All right, Cassie, you want to help me out here? Cassie, what? Yeah. Are you a 90,000 word person?
I'm a 90,000 word person.
Okay. How many hours does it take you to create X thousand words? So what ratio do you want here? I've got a 2 and a 5,000. What's comfortable for you?
Let's say, and this is editing and everything too. Let's go with 6 because I've been doing 3 groups of 3,000s.
6,000 words, and you've been doing that in 2 hours, or do you want to do 2.5 hours? Do you want to do 2?
Let's do 2.5 just to be safe.
2.5 hours, okay. So yeah, you guys keep it doing in the comments, and I'll catch up with you guys. And it's going to take you, how many hours does it take you usually to plan a book?
Plan probably 6.
Okay, 6 hours.
Yeah.
How many hours do you spend creating covers?
Less than that. I would say about 1. I would say 1.
1.5?
Yeah, let's go with 1.5.
Right,
I should probably put more.
Do you want marketing per book?
Per book.
Mhm.
Yeah, 10 sounds fine because I
10 sounds
usually
good. And then how many
Yeah.
hours per week can you work?
10. Yeah, let's go
10
with 10.
hours?
Yeah.
All right, and 15% supplements. Please model how many books in the labor hours for each type of author. Somehow this got cut off, and I don't know why, because that is not the full prompt. Give me a second here. I will fix this. Please model the labor hours. This author can complete in 52 weeks and also with 4 weeks of vacation. There we go. There's the full prompt there, and I will edit it on here on this little example page that we're doing here. By the way, you can grab this from your notes and do it yourself. So I'm going to just grab this entire prompt and I put it in green. The numbers, you just change the numbers, but you have the prompt. Let's go find out what this author can do. And I'm going to show you guys in Claude. I usually use ChatGPT, but we're going to use Claude. Don't worry, I'm going to change the share this tab instead. So here we are in Claude.
Oh yeah, did you guys realize that Claude gave us a Christmas present?
They did. You have extra,
Yeah.
extra. Yeah.
I was like, oh, wonderful.
So here we go. For this person doing 90,000 words, 6,000 words per session, that's 15 sessions, 37 and a half hours per book. You're coming in at 55 hours, but it has to put the buffer stuff happen. So it's saying you only have 442 hours. Now this is interesting. It's doing the other way around. It's saying like you just lose 15% of the hours. So it's deciding you only have 442 total hours, not that it might take 15% more. So that's interesting. Basically, this still gets you 8 books a year. And if you do the vacation, you get 7 books a year.
Which is still decent.
That is still very decent. That is still very, very decent. All right. Let me grab some of these others from the chat. I'm going to grab Emma. You were the first one. So 125,000 words. All right, so let's ask for this one. What if this author does 125,000 words? Let's just see what it calculates out and how many hours it'll be if it's more than 60. Now, Claude's doing it differently in terms of the buffer. So you can decide how you want to calculate that buffer. If you want to say like it's just going to take more hours, or if you want to assume that time is gone. I guess it kind of works out the same. So this is coming at 52 hours. And for the 125,000, it's coming right at 70 hours plus the buffer. So that person, 52 weeks a year with AI would only get 6 books done. And at that rate, 5 books with a vacation. So hopefully that answers that for you, Emma. Willow, I'm going to grab Willow because Willow's got some cool stuff here. So 80K per novel, 8 hours per 5K. So I'm going to go change the prompt for that one because that one's a little bit more in depth. So we're doing an 80K novel, 80,000 words, 80,000 word books. Assume it takes 8 hours for 5,000 words, I think was the ratio, but I'll double check. For Willow, 8 hours per 5K, 8 hours for planning and research, 8 hours for the cover, ebook, print, 20 marketing. Okay. So we'll add this here. So 8 hours for planning and research. There's your 8 hours. You want how many hours for the cover? You want 8 hours for the cover. You want 20 hours for the marketing. And it doesn't say, you didn't tell me how many hours a week you can work. So I'm going to say, let's pretend the author can work 10 hours, 20 hours, and 30 hours a week. Yeah. And I'm going to say model all our hours per week. A chart would be great. Now I'm actually going to take this to ChatGPT because I'm a little annoyed with the way Claude handles this, which is fine. But actually, I'm going to show you a different model that we'll use. We'll Oh, I didn't show you guys. Okay, so this is where I updated Heather's, or I'm sorry, whose was it? Willow's. Sorry, not Heather. Willow. 20 to 30. But yeah, we're going to model all of it. So 80,000 words, 8 books, 8 hours to do 5,000 words, 8 20. So I mean, this one's really like, hey, I'm going to go my speed. So I'm going to come over to Perplexity, show you guys Perplexity, because I hardly ever use this one. Perplexity can do it too. I'm going to put this in here and I'm going to say model all hours per week. A chart would be great. And this is Perplexity. We'll see how Perplexity decides to handle it. The goal here is that you can use any AI you want to. Sugar bugger. I wonder if I could get experiment. I am going to ask the share this novel instead. We'll go back to Perplexity in a minute. I'm going to ask Notion AI. Hey, can you read this page and do these calculations? Let's see. Yeah, your Notion AI can just do this. So toast to that. Thanks, Notion. Notion can just do it for you in a Notion page. You can do all of your planning in Notion and then ask the Notion AI to do the calculation. No, you're not being a problem child, Willow. Don't worry. We're all problem children. That's why we're special. A visual chart. Yes, put this in this page at the bottom. Shazam. Look at that.
Can you
It
close
did all the calculations, huh?
I was going to say, can you close the chat so we can see it?
Yeah, it did all the calculations and it put it in here. So 10 hours a week for Willow, it's 2 books if you don't take a vacation, 5 books or 8 books if you've got 30 hours. And then how many hours you have left over? 64, 15. So you can get between 5 and 8 books done a year with AI with these hours if you were to block these hours out. If you take a vacation, you're going to go from 5 to 8 to 4 to 7 books. I think this is important to understand because I think a lot of people are afraid to take a vacation when they own their own business, that everything's going to fall apart if you take a vacation. But it just shows like you're a difference of 1 book. Now, real fast, if you're like, but I won't have a release. Yes, you will. Do a box set. I'm serious. Do a box set in between some releases. You'll be fine. The algorithms will still love you. Willow, I'd be curious to see if these numbers made you happy or if they made you sad. If you're like, I'm doing too hard. Rachel goes, yes, you will fall apart if you don't take a vacation. That is true. That is true. Let's see how Perplexity decided to model it. Perplexity, books read rise with weekly reading hours. 4 vacation weeks reduces annual reading by 8%.
You have to show it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This author can complete between 2.4 and 7.9 books per year, depending on weekly hours, before rounding to whole books and depending on whether they take 0 to 4 weeks off. But this is okay. So red versus blue. Red is 48 weeks versus 52 weeks. This is how many books you can complete in a year. At 30 weeks, 30 hours a week, the vacation is moot because you're still going to have 7 books. 7.29 is still 7 books. 7.89 is still 7 books. For those who don't understand, whenever you have a decimal like this of 7.89, you basically went past 7. And since you can't publish 89% of a book, basically you just have another book that's ready, that's like almost ready to go for next year. If you are 20 hours, it does make a difference. It's the difference between publishing 4 books a year versus 5. But if you're only working 10 hours a week, the vacation doesn't bother you at all. It's 2 books or 2 books. This is important to look at this. I mean, we are the most valuable asset in our businesses. Looking at this business, I would never be able to model this business math very easily with a spreadsheet. I mean, I can do it. I wouldn't like it. Anyone else in that boat? Lynn, would you put this in word spreadsheets and try to calculate it all out?
Spreadsheets make my eyes cross. No, I wouldn't.
But was this hard? Were you able to see that graph and it shows the
Of
difference?
course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Throwing this stuff into AI. Cheers.
I'm
do the
all
math.
in favor of letting the AI do the math.
That's what it's good for. Be glad, you people watching today. Once upon a time, it did not do math very well. Okay. Do we need a song break? Do we need we're at an hour and 20 minutes. I'm still ready to keep going, but like, how are we feeling?
I'm good.
Cassie?
I
It's okay. You can tap out. You can take a break.
think I'm gonna tap out. I'm gonna
Okay,
tap out, you
Tap out,
guys.
everyone. She's tapping out.
I'm tapping out.
All right. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Okay. Now this is a question. I want to see your production calendar. That's tomorrow. We're going to make anti-gravity do all of that work tomorrow. Today was just about understanding how to run an AI, an author business with AI in 2026 and looking at these hours and things like that. So we're going to keep pressing on a little bit. I am going to have us do a little bit of a song break real fast because we've been here for an hour. We're going to do the Narrative Physics Engine one. It's a short one. It's a 1 minute break. And we'll be back in 1 minute and 24 seconds. Don't go anywhere.
Soft beats in the cold, let the pathways unfold. Quiet little rules, guiding stories untold. No push, let it breathe, let the arcs interweave. Keep the engine on low, watch the world take lead. Rotation too, calm lines in the loop. Let the framework align, every gentle pull sets the beat in its time. Just drift, let it form, let the pattern stay warm. Keep the engine on low, let the tail find its norm. Rotation 3, cool hum in the flow, let the logic awake. Tiny shifting laws, shaping choices we make. No force, let it glide, let the tensions divide. Keep the engine on low, watch the story decide. More.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We lost like 4 people and they're back in 2 minutes. Like, that's funny. I just needed to stretch a minute. I was getting a little bit like manic. I did put the link in the chat if somebody would like to come in and guest speak, because we've been talking about a lot of great things here. Add it to the stage. We'll go back to the notes real fast. So that was the big heavy math for the solopreneur. So you guys have the prompt. And now I want to talk about money. Okay. That's why I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a break. I know this is hard. I know. But now we're going to talk about profitability. And I'm not sharing the right screen. I'm allergic to meth. Is this math okay? Are we making it a little bit fun? Is it okay to follow? Are you guys doing all right? Do you have your exit buddy? Add them back to the stage.
I can follow it. If I can follow it, anybody can.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Oh, Ray says, wow, this is great. How did I not know about y'all? We're an acquired taste. That's what happened. So there we go. Ooh, Chrissy. Oh, I can pour myself more wine. My drink is getting low.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone else?
I showed
Go ahead.
after the break, I have a new glass with a different colored liquid in it. So that's what I spent my break doing.
Harper says, as someone who hates math, I'm doing okay. Thank you to the Canaries who are speaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. And Alyssa says, thank you for the reminder to have AI make charts and graphs for easier viewing. That's actually one of the topics for this automation thing, I think on Monday, maybe. We're going to talk about how you can make all kinds of cool visualizations and stuff with AI. Let's give it up for SKU Lights. They're doing edits. If you're going to do anything other than pay attention to the math, I give permission for edits. I think that that's okay.
Mhm. Agreed.
Okay, so this is just an example of some monthly costs. I was cheeky. I threw in the FFA membership because honestly, we get this question a lot. Why should we pay for FFA membership if, we're not even profitable, etc.? Olivia goes, I happen to love math, but the question is, do you like money? Because if you do, you need to count it.
Olivia.
I love Olivia. Olivia is my spirit
Mhm.
animal. I'm going to be her when I grow up. So yeah, $249 a month. This is optional. Okay, this is optional. AI tools. I was very generous. Would you all agree that about $200 a month is kind of like the max you would really spend if you're doing AI API calls, or you're using Typing Mind, or you're doing a subscription with Claude and ChatGPT and Google? I mean, that alone will cost you about $60. What do you think, Lynn?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Yep. SKULite says that they ran out of Gemini usage, so they have to wait an hour. So they'll do math now. Good. And
It's
then
a
I just
balance.
threw in some miscellaneous publishing costs, about $300 a month. That's your subscription for your newsletter. That's your annual thing for your website. That might be various subscriptions. I'm trying to think of like my own publishing costs and things like that. Like for a long time, I had an Adobe Pro membership that was like $50 a year, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
whatever word processor you use. But
Yeah. Scrivener, whatever.
yeah.
Yep. So this is just an example. This is not meant to be, this is all that you need. I'm trying to give a very fair amount for somebody who wants to come in and be kind of serious about this. I would say this budget is in line with somebody who is in that 20 to 30 hours a week range. I don't know that somebody who has the 10 hours a week would be spending this much. Actually, I guess they could, because they don't have time. They have usually money. So there is that.
It's a
So
trade-off. It always is.
There is always that trade-off. Absolutely. It's attention. It's attention axis. So we went ahead and came up with the fixed operating costs for the author business to be a little less than $9,000 a year. How did we get that number? Well, we added 249 plus 200 plus 300 in this example and got a little bit at $749. Multiply that by 12 months a year, and these are your fixed operating costs per year for the author business. I will add it to the notes since everybody likes the story physics song. So this is the cost per book. Now, how in the heck did we get this one? Well, this is going back to those the original example that we had about, the 5,000 to 2 hours. So that super part-time person, they do 9 books a year. If their operating costs are 8,988, you divide this number by the 9 books, and that's how they get their cost per book. Whenever you hear the word per, like a cat, it's dividing, because cats are selfish. Okay, that's how you can remember that. If you hear per, if you hear of is lofty, you're going to multiply. That's how math word problems work. If it's of, multiply. If it's per, divide. So we want the cost per book. So this is fair. This monthly cost layout is scary to look at, considering I have a very minimal budget for expenses. That's fair. We're going to do a bargain budget just for you, Rhiannon. Okay. We're going to do that real fast right now. So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to share my screen, which I'm already doing, and we're going to go over to ChatGPT because Perplexity was stupid-ish. I'm going to share this one instead. Hey, everyone. What's the cheapest you can get? What's the lowest AI can cost you? Come on, panel. Lynn, Christine.
You need to go to our Tuesday YouTubes and find the low cost.
Free dollars.
Free. Okay.
Yeah.
So AI costs. You know what? We'll put $20 there. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to put $20 there. Do you need to be a member of the FFA? No, you have this amazing YouTube channel, and it is also free dollars to watch. You need a tool.
And
to
we
use.
also do community classes that you can come
Community
to.
classes, which are free.
Ask your
Exactly.
questions.
Exactly. And then you can also use Raptorite, which is free, and you can just spend $5 on Open Router. You can do this for as low as $5. I'm going to go ahead and put about $50 for miscellaneous per month for the author business, because you just will. It's just like, it'll be very miscellaneous things. So you have a budget of $70. So show me a yearly budget for this publishing business, and model for me cost per book for 9. Let me go look at the other numbers here. 9, 19, 28, 38. 9, 19, 28, and 38 books a year. Okay. So here we go. That sounded like my dog. No, it's still Lily. Yep. Zedekis is still recovering from hearing cats they are selfish. I do not know any cat.
And Sue, you're going to have the internet anyway. Don't tell me you're not going to have the internet. But
Right.
you can deduct it.
Sure. But I mean, most people have the internet anyway. That's like just a utility at this point. But your entire operating cost is $840 a year. And now you're spending $93 a book, down to $22 per book. So you can do this on a shoestring budget. You can. I've had to do it on a shoestring budget before. That's how I know it can be done.
Yeah.
One good thing my awful ex-husband gave to me is I learned how to pinch a penny. I'm starting another controversy with cats.
I mean, the models are definitely different though. So like you can tell that it's like a free model versus it's not. So if you're not going to be using a different model, like you might end up finding yourself editing more or something a little bit more.
But thankfully, I agree with you. Currently, with
Yeah.
the chat bots and stuff, you can access the higher models for like 3 or 4 hours a day.
Yeah. So it's very possible. It's just the model that we have, you'd have to adjust it to how much time that you can work with. That's where your limitation. So you're going to be bottlenecked in a different way.
You could be. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You could
it's
be, yes.
Again, it's a trade-off.
Yep.
Time or money.
Right.
Time or money.
But if you're new at using AI as a tool to help you write, you're in the right place, because there are tons of classes and videos talking about the different models, and we're always releasing videos whenever a new model comes out of like, let's play, let's see what it can do. So that's great.
And thank you, Ray. Snaps for Ray Edwards. He's joined us for the first time today, and he says that we're amazing. So, you pass, sir. We like you. Okay. So there's your cost per book. So the interpretation, this is where it's going to get a little bit in the weeds here. We're going to stick with this $9,000. I really think that this is a very generous and rational, reasonable way to run a business. Businesses have costs. I would love to hear from our other people in the other people in the room and stuff like that who are professional authors. I think a little less than $10,000 a year, that's enough expenses that you're actually investing in your company.
Right. Very reasonable. You have to remember, and this is what a lot of writers don't know or don't think about. You are a business, and you do have to run it like a business.
I would say though that I don't think that these costs necessarily capture if you're doing like audiobooks. So
that wasn't in the thing. We were just working on ebooks.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it doesn't do that. It's just for ebooks alone. So,
it does cover a website and a book funnel. You have $300 of miscellaneous costs per month, $3,600 a year. If your website or book funnel costs more than $3,600 a year, we need to talk. Because I think book funnel is like what, $20 a month? So at the $300 level, you can have 15 services that cost you $20 a month. Does that help with There was a question about that. Now I just lost it. The comment. Yeah. Does that help, Leela? That it has those. It does cover the website and the book funnel and the miscellaneous publishing costs. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. So there you go. It does assume self-editing. That is something that is in there. Because here's the dirty little secret. Every other writing profession expects you to self-edit. I know this because I used to write SEO articles before I ever wrote fiction. I came into fiction already making 4 figures as an SEO writer. Every single article I turned in had to be perfect, had to be correct, did not need to have any edits to it. I got to fiction writing and all of a sudden it was, you can't edit your own books. I'm like, what Kool-Aid is this? How did we convince everyone you're not allowed to edit your own book? Sorry, editors, you're definitely very valuable. I'm not saying that you're not, but I don't think it's universal that you can't edit your own book, especially not today with Pro Writing Aid and Grammarly and AI asking for developmental helps and edits, beta readers. If you're really worried, post. So yeah. This is a good question. If you do have to pinch pennies, where is the money best spent? AI over a website, for example. Well, you can get AI for free. You can get AI for free dollars. So buy that website. Make sure the domain name is your author name or your publishing company name. Do not make a website that is the book name or the series name. Ask me how I know. So
words of wisdom.
Let's go a little bit deeper here. This is where the MBA hat from the AI comes in. So if you didn't go to business school, you're in luck because the AI went to business school on the cheap side, and it's going to help us find out what's fragile and what's robust. Here we go. The interpretation. If you are below 15 books a year, fixed costs hurt. Well, I feel called out. So the AI is even telling you, if you are at 15 books a year, this is tough. This is a little bit challenging. If you are above 25 books a year, your costs just fade into the background. You're at $321 per book or $237 per book. Okay. For me, that's a bad hour at the casino, but this is not about me. Keep going. Your break-even analysis. So this is what you're looking for, what most people don't have the words for. Authors, they don't learn about break-even analysis. In fact, I can't think of a single author conference I've been to that has had a session on break-even analysis. Can you? Cheers to breaking even. What does breaking even mean? I know my panel knows.
That I worked for free? It didn't cost me anything to entertain the world and to share the stories in my heart.
Yep, I worked for free.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. So if your average revenue per book, so if your book's average making you $500 in that year that it's out, this is not $500 a week. This is not $500 a month. This is like in that year that you're publishing, because we're looking at a year here. Oh, we got to do Plum Stand. Ready? For the exposure. Jazz hands.
Absolutely.
For the kingdom. Harper, I love Harper. I'm sorry. I consider breaking even if my revenue is more than I paid to get the book out.
Harper's got
so
standards.
Harper's like, no. It ain't even. It's got to be a penny more.
Yeah.
Tie goes to the loser.
Oh, that hurts.
But yeah, you guys got it. No profit, no loss. Good job, Sonic Sue, making enough to cover your costs. Eldon. Isn't it sad that this is not talked about in more author circles? But at any rate, if your books...
There's very little said about money in author circles.
Yeah. And you know what? I gotta be honest, it breaks my heart when I would go to author conferences and I would hear some like big author names. And I mean, like these authors, I'm like, I love reading their stuff. Like I'm a huge like whale reader of their stuff personally. And I hear other people talking about the really abysmal like publishing deal that they got. That's really awful because you can have an amazing idea, but if you're not like if you don't have the business part solid, it can really hurt you and you can leave a lot on the table.
Mm-hmm. So there's a little thing here, and I want to remind everybody of our numbers. We have 9, 19, 28, and 38. Okay. So I'm actually going to copy this, copy it. I'm going to add a column here. Maybe my Notion Foo is not nearly as cool as Steph and Stacy's. Okay, so 2 columns. Okay, I got 2 columns somewhere. Somewhere there's 2 columns. Where's the columns? There's a column. Okay, so I'm going to paste here, and then I'm going to move this one into this column. No, why are you? Okay, and then there we go. Ta-da! I put it next to each other. I'm impressed with me. Okay, the reason I wanted to put these next to each other is because we need to look at these charts next to one another. If your books average $500 revenue, that's an average. That means some books can make 1,000, some books can make 100, but the average is 500. You need 18 books to break even. Now, looking at super part-time, full-time, obsessed, where is that even an option? Where's the first line? Can you do it as super part-time? No.
No.
10 hours? Nope. You have to be doing at least part-time or full-time up to obsessed. So that's not great. If your books average $1,000, okay, so you're writing in a genre that makes, and this is where you can kind of try to figure out if your business plan's a good plan or not. $1,000, 9 books, it's break even. Well, that is a very, very good chance that you would have at least 9 books averaging $1,000 if you are putting out 28 to 38 books a year. And this is what TradPub does, by the way. So what this means is I want you guys to take out your calculator and I want you to divide the number 9, because we need 9 books, divided by the number 28. You should get about 32%. You should get 0.321429. So I'm pretty sure I got kicked out of that group, Thomas, the Indie Author Mastermind. I'm pretty sure I'm kicked out of that group from the early AI stuff. So, but I'm glad that they are talking about it. I will say that I think you're right that authors of a certain earning level do talk about money and stuff all the time, but this stuff is not usually talked about freely for authors who are just starting out in a lot of different places. It's like, don't worry your pretty little head about it. Just put your books out. But I'm glad the Indie Author Mastermind does it. So anyway, did everyone get 0.32 on their calculator? Yep. Let me explain what that means. That means 32% of your books need to average $1,000 to break even. Guess what the other 66% gets to do? Fail. You could have 2/3 of your titles at the full-time, at the 28 book level. You could go up to bat, publishing a book, swing, and completely miss 2 out of every 3 books. You'd still break even. And we call that a year where you learn what it means to publish. That's how you get your stripes. That's how you learn, oh, I messed that up. So yeah, I think that that's amazing. I think if your books are 1,500, averaging 1,500, you only need 6 books written to break even. 6 times 1,500 is that. That starts becoming that strikeout every 2 out of 3 books at the part-time level. If you do the part-time level and you can get at least 6 of those books to make you $1,500, you will break even. Is there anyone looking at the $500 to $2,000 and going, my books have never made anything near that in its lifetime or in a year? Okay, any other questions? Do we like these graphs? I love this chart. This chart makes me feel happy. I'm like, well, I only need 5 books at 2,000. If I'm publishing 28 books a year and I'm just trying to get 5 books to make at least $2,000, that means that the other 23 books could make 0 money.
And what one thing you learn from those books that don't make money is you learn your stats, you know what your audience wants, you know
Mhm.
how to increase the salability of those other books.
And in all of these cases, you have obligated yourself only for that $9,000. You have not obligated yourself for more. You have not, like, this is the important part. The right side of this graph, all of these authors, super part-time, full-time, obsessed, they're all using the same budget of $9,000 for the year. So they just don't know how low the bar is. I think Willow's right on this, that traditional publishing doesn't talk about what their writers make. So people don't realize how low the financial bar is to make what trade folks make. It's really low. It's not hard at all. So these, I think, are good things. And then just remember that all of these levels here on the right-hand side, they're all only spending $9,000 for the year. Okay. So break even map to work schedule. So super part-time, 9 books a year. 9 books a year only breaks even if you can average at least $1,000 a book. Okay. We have a question here. Sonic Sue, how do you address the difference in genres, make different amounts, and niche markets have lower sales potentials? Exactly. So you're going to need a slate of books that's more than 9. You're going to need to be in that realm where you're doing, 19 or 28 books a year if you're going to be operating like an AI press. Okay. That's just all about writing good books with AI. You do that, then you can start going, okay, 2/3 of my books are allowed to swing and miss. Should you plan for 2/3 of those books to be in not bad genres, in low earning genres? No, I wouldn't plan. I would plan less than 1/3 of your books to be in the lower earning genres. I would hedge my bets. And that's really what it is. The Amazon store is a casino. See, going to the casino is research, Christine. Olivia says you must have different pen names, otherwise you'll get crucified. Yes, you should not put out. Even on my Jack name, I wouldn't put out 19 books a year. Just exhausting. My readers wouldn't really enjoy that. And I mean, put yourself in a reader's shoes. Unless you're writing shorts, if you're writing novels, do you really want your favorite author giving you a homework assignment more than once a month?
I'd get fatigued probably.
Yeah.
Depending on it. Yeah.
And even if they say they want it, they don't, because what happens is something invariably happens. They have the stuff happens thing. They get behind in the series or they get behind in the books, and then they feel like they can't catch up.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I would say that it is still, for the most part, there's always going to be outliers. There's always going to be some author that said, I did 23 books in this series. Yes, we know Shades of a Vampire. They did a lot of books. For the most
I wouldn't. No, I couldn't. That's too much. It's too much of a commitment.
Yeah.
It's like a 5-year plan.
So this is good, Sonic Sue. And we're going to talk about this in just a minute, about how we're doing the press, because I have a pen name that I know will do well. That's the Elizabeth Ann West name. And then we're kind of planning around that as a spine. So in your case, if you're planning 4 pen names, I would pick one that is going to be like the strong performer. Have 2 mid-listers and have 1 pen name that is basically like your funsy pen name. It's your pen name that you're just doing it for the love of the genre. But if you do that, you're now starting to think like a publisher who is, I've got my earner, I've got my 2 backups, and then I have my funsies. And again, that's the other thing. This is a year. If you decide you don't want to spend a year, you want to do this over like 2 years or whatever, you can adjust. You can only sign up for those things when you need them and things like that. Like the $249 a month Feature Fiction Academy thing, for example. We have a policy that you can kind of come and go. You can start and stop that. But the grandfather pricing is ending now. So there you go. Book funnel, things like that. You could wait and run book funnel in 6 months once you have like a cadre of books saved up. So there we go. Outlandish Studios. I never thought about that point. It's like me in 2017 saying there can never be enough Marvel movies. Turns out there can.
Yes.
Good point on pen names. Yes. Humans have natural fatigue points. This is why most shows, it's very rare that a TV show goes past 3 seasons. 3 seasons is pretty much Like if you go get past one season, you're going to get to 3 seasons. But how many shows have you seen hold up at season 6, season 7? Very few. Most of them have jumped the shark by that point.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of times. If you don't know what that means, just look it up.
No, I'm not going to put your business out there. I'm going to be quiet.
What, jump the shark?
Well, the most recent series that you
Oh, you can put my business out on there. The Vampire Diaries. The oh my gosh, we have to save Elena again. Elena's a
No
freaking
spoilers.
vampire, and we are still saving her, and it is season 5.
Yeah. It's funny. Anyway, no spoilers. Sorry for this
Yeah.
older series that
Yes, Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's
EastEnders.
Anatomy.
There are
Yeah.
outliers. There are outliers. ER was like something like 20 something seasons. Is
Yeah.
anyone I'm not sure these calculations are saying that break even is X books per year. I think they're saying at X books you break even. This is total, not per year. This is looking at the work schedules. So the 9 books, if they're only making $500 of those 5 books, they lose. If they make $1,000, they break even. And then if it's $1,500 per book, so an average, they would have a little bit of profit. So I have not seen that, but that sounds good. I agree. I wanted to kill Elaine. I stopped watching after season 5. I just glommed it. I just like binge watched it in the last couple of
I
weeks.
would literally just be like,
I'm out.
yo, is she a vamp yet? Is she
Yeah.
a vamp?
She
Is she a
did.
vamp yet?
She
Not
did.
yet. No. It's been 2 weeks, and then you've been bitching this. What's going on?
And this is the thing. Soap operas work.
Yeah.
Because
They do.
they expect you to jump the shark. If you're not jumping the shark, I don't know what you're doing with your time.
Yeah.
Somebody should at least
That's
be in
true.
a coma 3 times and come back to life and die in a car accident and then still show up 15 years later as the long lost son of somebody.
Yeah.
Right? One
Yeah.
life to live. SVU. Turns out crime procedurals, there is no limit on how many crimes, but I do have to say, you sit there and you watch a couple of seasons, you start to go, wait, didn't they already do this in season 4 where the coach abused but it was soccer then. Now it's a field hockey coach. Okay. Now it's at a public school, not a private school.
Right.
So there we go. April says she loves jumping sharks. Okay, so the break-even model here, 19 books a year. If the books are making $500 a book, you break even. At $1,000 a book, you have a very good profit, and you're very healthy at $1,500. So this is like the minimum stable business tier. Again, I didn't have to do this analysis. The AI did this analysis. It just did it for me. I was like, hey, explain all this to me. Tell me what's safe. Tell me what's fragile. And it can just do this. Full time is break evens at $321 a book. So $500 a book is safe. $1,000 a book is strong operating margin. And this is where the scale starts to protect you. And then obsessed is like, I think that this was very fair. It warned you, your risk in this one is not money. It is burnout. Your risk is burnout at 38 books a year with one person. I'm not saying people can't. I've seen people do it. Kim's written 36 books in the last couple of weeks or something like that with anti-gravity, but actually processing those books and refining them and stuff, that is not easy. That is not easy.
Yeah. You had to do all the marketing for it, keep everything straight. Like yeah.
So here's what you're looking at for the profit scenarios. If you're part-time with 19 books, if you do $500 a book, your annual revenue is $9,500, you made $500. If your average revenue per book is $1,000 per book, you make $10,000 profit. Now you do have to pay taxes on the profit. So whatever your tax rate is, take that away. 1,500 is 19,000. And then at 2,000, $30,000. There are many successful authors in the indie world that, I kid you not, $10,000 to $30,000 of profit at the end of the year puts you in the elite. It puts you in the top. I'm going to be honest with you. There are authors who make 6 figures a year. They're talking gross revenue. They're not talking profit. They're talking, my books paid me over 6 figures. They don't tell you if they spent 6 figures to make that happen or not. Go ahead, Christine.
No, I was reading what Jay
Oh,
put
yeah,
in the
Jay.
chat.
That's why I write MM fiction. I don't have to keep anything straight.
brings me back to our breakfast of watching the
Yeah.
the heated rivalry. Anyway,
So I want to stress this. If you are an author making an annual revenue of $28,000 a year, but you only spent $9,000 in expenses, you have a $19,000 profit margin. That profit margin can absolutely, and in most cases, be bigger than some of these authors who are running six-figure publishing companies.
yeah.
I'm going to out April Floyd. April Floyd, let me know. Haven't you had years, like in your early years, where you did 28,000, but your expenses were not that much, so you profited about 20K? And meanwhile, authors who make six figures, we were in a bigger author group, would like poo-poo on those of us who made only $30,000 a year total. Meanwhile, we were profitable. They weren't. They were not always profitable.
You notice how nobody talks about their ad spend?
Nope.
No.
I love that. April says, I love that. I'm a shoestring girly.
Yeah.
Start having
And what is the
shoestring.
phrase? What's the phrase that you say all the time? You've got to marry your life with like your independent business, like
Yeah.
those tax write-offs, like what
It's
you're
called a
like,
lifestyle
whatever,
business.
like
Lifestyle business.
lifestyle. Yeah, to like marry them as much as possible.
Yeah.
So
Then you're making the most of your life.
mhm.
Okay, keep going. And then we also, if you are full-time, 28 books. Remember, we were not looking at that 28, that's 30 hours a week. You could have as much of a profit margin of almost $50,000. Again, that's profit. And that's where, this is why, a full-time author doesn't usually make a lot of money. But I can tell you right now, a full-time author making $50,000 a year, that is more money than a lot of Tribe Pup authors make per year. And this is why something that never gets really talked about, it's just not a profession that it's easy to make a lot of money at. They make it seem like it is, but it is a feat. It is a challenge. If you're up for the challenge, if you are up to the discipline, if you're up to the planning and utilizing AI to help you automate your marketing or things like that, then I think it's easier to make a profit today than it was back in 2012 because the things were very small. But so there you go. Okay. And then the obsessed author shows that one, but we're not going to talk about the obsessed. So the strategic takeaway, this is important. If you have $9,000 a year in fixed costs, less than 10 books a year, you have a hobby with an upside. And the reason the upside is because years from the road, those books, if you do that 2 or 3 years, you might be negative, but then those backlist books will actually help to your bottom line. So you'll eventually go positive. 15 to 20, you're in a fragile but a viable business. 25 books per year is a durable system. That's 2 books a month. And then 35 books plus per year, your portfolio economics are starting to kick in. But at this point, success is no longer about one book. It's about the throughput, the consistency, and letting the probability work. Okay, we are now going to talk about our team plan, and I will open the floor for questions. Do we want another, we're at 2 hours. Do we want another quick song break? I actually need to, I think, I need a quick break before we talk about Future Fiction Press. Is that okay?
Good idea.
Mm-hmm. All right, I picked the song. We need a poppy song. Which song always gets me pumped up, ready to go? I think my favorite one is I like U.I and I like Shadowbreakers. How about Shadowbreakers? It's very like K-pop. Deal? Checking the comments.
I guess if I can't get the 1 beer, 2 shots, whatever.
I'd have to upload it.
Okay. Never
I'd
mind.
have to upload it. No, we'll go with We Bend, We Build.
Yeah.
Is that good, Len? Pump?
Every week a shiny model drops, and the chatter never really stops. People worried how to stay ahead, but not chasing perfect, we're chasing what's new. We push, we play, we shake the tools to what we do. We bend, we build again. Oh, that's the power running through this crew of friends. A little spark in the tools we use, it's true, but the North Star still me, still you. So try the wild prompt, follow that sharp idea. We're wired for reinvention. This is our golden era. We bend, we build again. Some folks swear the rules are carved in stone, but every update proves that myth's long gone. A sideways thought, a twist they miss. That's where the breakthroughs start to form. Right in the center of a creative storm. Follow the spark, you can't resist. So take a breath and trust your restless, brilliant mind. You're not falling behind, you're right in the fault lines. We bend, we build again. Reinvention is the way that writers win. New models, new tricks, new sparks in the code, but you still choose the road. So try the wild prompt, follow that sharp idea. We're wired for reinvention. This is our golden era. We bend, we build again. Yeah. Lean into the tension, ride every axis. Let the tools surprise you. Break old practice. No fear of the future. Yeah, you are the future. Hit generate, hit retry. Watch what you can do. We bend, we build again. Rewrite the rules, reset the pen. This moment is ours, we know how to adapt. We've done it before and we're not looking back. Try the wild prompt, trust that bright idea. We're automated authors, this is our golden era. We build
Thank you, everyone, for being here for hour 2. Woo woo! Or as the kids go, brr, 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 brr. Gotta make the little horn sound. Oh my goodness. I didn't expect it to. I did actually. I'm not gonna lie. I expected it to be this long. This is a 20-page presentation.
You asked me on this too, so I'm just saying, like, I have
can
a
tap
I
out.
have-
You can tap.
No, that's not what I mean. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, I'm going to like ADHD brain tangent
Oh yeah,
along with you and just spiral. So
that was fun.
That's all.
This is dry.
Yeah.
This is dry stuff. So let us know if everyone's here. They've inspired us to catch up on their receipts. People are excited about today, so I think we're inspiring some people to look at some numbers. Numbers aren't scary.
They're not.
I think I might do more lives with wine. This is fun. Okay. Okay. The Future Fiction Press stuff. Some of the stuff I'm presenting is not even necessarily 100% dialed in. It is in pencil, crayon, even. Tomorrow, mañana, okay, we're going to be working with Kim. Kim's going to be on the live. I'm going to be working on how do you use anti-gravity to make it your business coach, taking the plans and actually turning them into actionable slates, production schedules, all that fun stuff, because I don't want to do it. So that's what the AI is for. And so we're going to be showing anti-gravity for that. Now, anti-gravity is also great for writing books and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It is the top notch in automation right now. We have a intro to anti-gravity class right now that you can get 50% off. So you might want to check that out. And guess what? Anti-gravity is free right now. So this goes back to that. What a great time to be learning AI.
Can you say that again? What was that again?
What a great time to be learning AI.
Yeah. So we have free models that are really good.
Yeah. This won't be here in a few years. In a few years, it's not going to be free well, it might be more like email. Email always kind of stayed free. I think that there will always be some free AI out there, but you get the good stuff for free now. So that's where that's at. Okay, so this is our team plan. Here we go. So this is going to talk about what does it cost for us to publish between 4 and 10 books per month. So this is 48 to 120 books. This is a level of production that is beyond that obsessed author. So this is moving past what one person can do on their own. Please do not look at this plan and be like, Elizabeth said I had to do 10 books a month. No, I didn't. You didn't listen. This is not for one person. It's actually a group of us. There's about 6 of us that'll be writing for the press, an author thing. And then we have, I don't know how many editors, 5 editors, I think. We have 1 editor that's just always on staff. And then we have a bunch of editors that are contract editors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just so you guys understand, this is not a 1-person show. So here we are looking at fixed per book production costs. They're unchanged from up at the top. We're mostly using staff as writers or people who have a stake in the company. So this is why our expenses are $200 per book, and then we are paying for editing. We're not editing our own books because this is about production, and it's the hard part. I'll be a little bit controversial, but Chris, you can tell me what you think about this. Editing as a skill is very defined, understood. There's a lot of people with an editing skill out there. There's not as many people out there with the skill to manipulate the AI into getting good prose out of it. What do you think?
No, I think that's accurate. That's something that's a skill that takes time. And I also think that sometimes that can be a little bit of a moving target too. Just a little bit. There's a little bit of that in there. So you really have to hone in your skill of being able to troubleshoot, because sometimes those prompts don't work the same way anymore. So
AI is a new skill, whereas editing, that's been around hundreds of years.
Yeah, it's been around for a minute. There is a question about, will the press be doing an RFP? I missed it this summer. We will not be doing another RFP as we did it before. We learned a lot. We learned that that was not the way to do things. We are grateful that everybody who participated in that, we got some really great books out of it. We got a lot of great experience out of it. We also learned what we didn't know with that experience. So we're making adjustments in terms of what we're compensating people. We didn't have the money back last year. So think of it this way. Last year was pilot stage. This year we're moving into more stable production stage. So we're earmarking about $1,200 per book for the atomic unit of the business. So then monthly production scenarios. This is just for the cost of acquisition. This is before marketing, because we're running this like a press, and marketing is a different budget. It's a different line item. This is just about production, because if you have a margin on your production, then you factor in your marketing and things for that. So our monthly cost, if we have 4 books per month times 1,200, would be $4,800 to show this. 48 books. So our annual cost is looking at about $57,600. And this is the non-negotiable floor of the press. If we end up doing 6 books a month, I'm sorry, and we're paying out the editing and stuff like that, 86,000 for the annual cost. And that fits easily with a 6 author capacity, 2 to 3 week editorial windows, and then the vault and subscription growth, which I'll get to in a minute. And then we have the upper production, which is 8 books per month. So that's now a 6-figure. This is not a press making 6 figures at this moment in time. This is 6 figures to run the press. If we're trying to do 8 books a year, 8 books a month, and we're paying $1,200 in cost per book.
Mm-hmm.
The maximum, which is where my dream is, by the end of the year, I'd like for us to be consistently doing 10 books a month. That would be an annual cost of $144,000. So you can only operate here if demand supports it, editors are not rushed, and subscription growth justifies the volume. So this is the important part about working with your business coach. If it's AI, it will help if you ask it in the prompting, it will help you understand where the gates are that you can scale. Because that's another thing that a lot of indie authors don't know. They don't know, like, I'm making this much money. How much money can I spend on a VA? How much money can I spend on an assistant, for example? A lot of times people splurge on that, and then they find out it doesn't actually help their bottom line. Less money with an assistant than they did if they didn't have the assistant. So that's just to explain that. We have some questions in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Moment, we don't have any plans to be bringing in more authors to the press. We may have a situation where we are hiring more editors, but for this year, I don't think we are necessarily looking for more authors right now. This is because things are changing very quickly, and the truth is that I'm just going to be real with you. I've got YFD to the point that I can just write something that I'm happy to just curl up with it and start editing it. That's where I'm at. And so I can just like,
Me too.
yeah, Lynn's there. Chris is close. She does it chapter by chapter. She doesn't like to run it all at once, right? Yeah. So with automation, and this is more the, do I say the quiet part out loud?
Why not?
That's what we're here for. I mean, what are you afraid you're going to get in trouble again? Is that what you're afraid of? Someone might get mad at you?
We've replaced ourselves. We know how to replace ourselves. But this wasn't an overnight thing. I've been writing with AI for 4 years now. So like, I know how to just make it do it. I mean, I can just like put something into YFD right now and say, go. And I've got a draft that I can edit up in a couple. I tried anti-gravity. I didn't like it as much. I'm still working on how to crack that one. But my YFD, I mean, I helped make that thing. That is my pride and joy. I know it inside and outside. So, and that's what I'm working on for Tuesday, to give you guys that open canvas narrative physics engine that you can literally put stuff in and it writes a damn good draft that you literally just sitting there and highlighting what you don't like and you're making those changes. It's not bad. So, don't worry, you guys will see. I'm sorry. I'm not. I worked hard for this. I'm not sorry. I didn't control this. This was not my fault. This was not my problem.
Elizabeth has never been known to keep a secret. So
Yeah, I'm
know
not
it's
sorry. I've been saying for years now that AI was going to take over the typey part. And I've got the AI to take over my typey part. And now I just get to, I want this. And then I get a cool thing. And then I get to edit it. And I'm happy. So anyone else who really likes the typey part, be my guest. Okay. I like the words already written on the page that I can then craft and change. That's me. It's my preference. Rachel's in the same boat. I hate the typey part. If you also hate the typey part, maybe the FFA is for you.
Yeah.
If you love the typey part, we're not for you. Enjoy the typey
Yeah.
part.
I don't know. I feel like a big boss when I'm just editing something,
Yeah.
like the first draft, and I get it. I'm like, because like if I'm writing it myself though, I feel like I'm doing like all of this hard labor or whatever, and like I'm not really a big boss right now. I'm just kind of like I'm waiting for me to write it so that I can edit it to tell myself how good I did or how not so good I did.
Yeah.
So
I love the development part. Yes. I do not like the typey part. I like having written. I love the developing part. I like the typey part, but super love Lynn's editing prompts. That makes it so much less stressful.
Actually, those are not mine. Those started with Elizabeth. I've just
But
modified
she
it
has
slightly.
improved them. And that's what we do with the FFA. Everybody builds on everybody else's work. So
We all share.
yeah, that actually came from a live. I literally just pulled out of my tushy because I needed a topic. So it was the manual. It's the manuscript overhaul plan. Yeah, if you think every word is a precious, precious jewel, AI is not for you. Nope.
Nope.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. The typey part causes me significant pain. Heard.
I mean, I have injuries from my career. I was a kickball.
Mhm.
My kickball, my fingertips.
When you
So my
broke your
fingertips
arm?
are good with that.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, no, I guess I've broken a lot of things. It's not just that, my wrist, my arm, but
Only
I've
mopped
got strong.
overload. All right, I think we have consensus that nobody really likes the typey part. We're just afraid to say it out loud. Okay. So here is where it is a chart for our business. So this is this is an example of an AI press. Now, I've laid out for you that we have about 6 authors and we have about 5 or 6 editors. That group of people does have the capacity to do 48 to 120 books a year. Now, I want to explain something and why this is such a I'm just going to say it. This is going to be such a mind F for TradPub. There are a lot of presses out there that have one full-time staff member per book they put out a year. I'm not kidding. So it's like some imprint does 48 books a year. You find out how big their employee pool is, and it's 30 to 50 people. So this is going to change things. Okay, this is going to catastrophically change things in TradPub. They're not ready for it yet, but they need to get ready because these numbers, there's no arguing with them that it takes out the cost of acquisition. We as authors are the easiest place to save money on the acquisition. And I'm saying that earnestly because I have fired myself from the typey part. I do the development and I do the editing. The typey part is the AI's job. I don't do the typey. And I think if we just start calling it the typey part, when people are like, I'll never use AI to write for me, and I'll be like, oh, you like the typey part? We'll just infantilize it. Be like, yeah, I'm not an real author unless my fingers have stroked these keys. Not a real author. I don't do the typey. So these are the all-in production costs with AI editing and nothing else hidden. So the important teaching point. Yeah, see, I did use AI. They can't turn the dial like this, and we can. We don't have to renegotiate contracts. We don't have to do new departments. We don't have to take on advanced risk. We don't have to do rights restructuring. We can scale up and down monthly without breaking the system. Somebody gets sick, then there you go. I'm not running off the typey, folks. If you like to typey, that's okay. Get a quill. Okay. And Willow, I would bet that you don't like typing it. I think you just probably like spending time with the words. Like if it could just transcribe from your brain, you'd probably be pretty happy with that, right? I know I would. I kept waiting for a transducer.
I think there's a place for like the control aspect of it too, of like being able to like really direct it and have a very hands-on approach and be very like intentional with your craft for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's value in spending time with your words. Yeah. I just don't like the physical act of typing it. I would much rather dictate it or something. So how this connects to authors without revenue yet. That makes sense. The physical action kicks in part of your brain. That makes complete sense. And the shaping involved in early editing. I always said I wanted a wire into my head to direct download my stories, but now that we're closer to that, not really. No, there was some show when we were kids. Remember the girl, Alana was her name, and she had a transducer. Christine, she had like a white headband with a little like white gem. It was like some Australian show, and there was like boys.
Oh wait, did she like swim a lot and like? Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. I always wanted that transponder.
That's the gist. She swam a lot and she had a thing on her head.
It was some show made in Australia or something like that. And she had a transducer. So 6 authors, minimum 4 books a month. That means not every author has to have a book each month. Look at that. A sustainable average is if everybody turns in 1 to 2 books a month, that's 6 to 8 books. And then the occasional peak is 10 books per month. No one is forced to overproduce. Editorial quality stays protected. This is not a content mill. It's a controlled production studio. So there we go. So the baseline. So this is where we're at. So we're modeling time, not just total. So here's where we are. We have 2 subscribers. They're both authors, but we have 2 subscribers at $10 a month on the Future Fiction Press website. I don't think we'd have any going into 2026. So for those 2 people, thank you so much for like inspiring us to keep the dream alive here. I'm going to make this bigger. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this one. Thank you. The show was called The Girl from Tomorrow. Yes, that is what it was called. Okay. Thank you for that deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Danny. So yeah, this is where the locked backs are. Backlist. We have 14 books that we have already published. That count might be a little bit squishy. I think we put out another one. I have to go back and check. Backlist revenue in 2025. Y'all, we did no ads really. We did a little bit. I think we spent less than $500 on our free runs, and we were just kind of establishing it. When we were establishing this press last year, it was pilot. We were putting the books out. Listen, we were one of the first people that I'm aware of that we put this was written with AI tools in the blurb. We put this was written with AI in the book, and we put this was written with AI on the website. And so when we started that last summer, this summer in 2025, we weren't sure how bad the hate was going to be. So we didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on marketing just for it to be like, we have to unpublish the books. It's not the right time. We've got to rethink it. We got 51-star reviews in a 24-hour period, etc. None of that happened, by the way. And we did do some testing. Like we did put the books into free runs. Every single one of them was in KU. We put them into the free runs. This was our gut check. This was our test the market, the test balloon, if you will. Some of those books, I think all of the free runs got into the top 100 free for their actual catalog. Right, Christine? They all ranked in their actual like category. Like if they were what is it? Like medical romance. We have some medical romance. They were in the top 100 of the free store for that category. They did really well as free runs. We had over 25,000 free books, I think, downloaded within the 1 month or so that the books were starting to fall out. So our backlist revenue in 2025 was $2,500 total. And that was for really, the books went out in August. So that's money that we are actually paid. That's not money that they owe us still. Because you can't count money that they owe you because you haven't been paid it yet. So that's the books go out in July. So August. So September was the first month we could get royalties. So that's September, October, November, and December royalties haven't been paid out yet. So that's 3 months of royalties coming in. The Elizabeth Ann West books are going to be $9.99. Other books priced, novellas will be the $3.99 to $4.99. And novels, $4.99 to $9.99, and production 4 to 10 books per month. Okay. So simplify the price without lying. Instead of pretending everything's $9.99, we're going to model an average net. This is very standard for publishing. Okay. It's looking, it might be a little confusing, but it's basically like, what do you average get from a book across the slate? We're going with $5.99. So an average net per sale is $4. So it discounts the EAW upside. So it's safe, and it still will call out EAW separately when needed. Why EAW? My name is a little bit different. I write in a niche that those books just sell. And like we put out a backlist book, and it made over $300, I think, that first month, just chilling like a villain, just out. It's already made over $10,000. It was just a re-release, and it's still sold. So it's just the way Jaff works. Backlist baseline. So the reality. This is $2,500 total revenue. So this is where it's starting to come out to $178 per book per year, $15 per book per month. This is very normal for an unattended backlist. Now, I want to talk about this real fast. What you need to know, and this is something that you're not going to get you're not going to get transparency on this for the rest of the year necessarily from me on YouTube. You will get transparency on this from us in the Accelerator Mastermind. Of those 14 books, of that $2,500 revenue, 90% of that revenue was made by 3 titles. The nonfiction book and the 2 EAW books. So I need you guys to understand, real publishing be like this. You do 14 books, 3 of them are your winners. The other ones haven't won yet. And the reason I say that is because the game's never over. We literally launched those pen names with nothing behind them. No, we were just testing the waters. We were seeing how it went. We have plans to boost them in the new year. The other thing too is that these were new pen names, and we didn't want to put a whole bunch of marketing money behind them because most of these pen names until just recently didn't even have 3 books on them. Like it took us a while to even get 3 titles on those pen names. And if you're curious about what we put out, you can, did I spell that right? Curious. That looks better. Check out. You can read all of the books for free right now. So you can read the quality of books that we put out. So we're going to look at 2026 and we're going to not have any magic. We're going to slight lifts from better infrastructure. We're going to have a subscription funnel and we have increased visibility. So we're going to model the backlist at $3,000 total for 2026. So that's only $250 a month and still conservative. We're not inflating this. So this is the backlist number. And now we're going to keep going. Subscription path. All paths start with 2 subscribers in January. We're going to model linear growth, not hockey sticks. So we're aiming for 500 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be great. Average across the year is 250 subscribers. So 250 times $10 times 12 is $30,000. 15,000 of that would go to the authors, 15,000 would go to the press, and this is the bare minimum success case. So what does this do? This puts a flag. We want to try to be at 500 subscribers by the end of the year. 500 divided by 12 is 60. That's a really high bar. It's probably not going to be linear. It's probably going to J-curve, okay? And here's why. Because I'm going to cheat. How am I going to cheat? We're adding nonfiction books in there. We're writing more nonfiction books in there. We're adding nonfiction, and we have 21,000 students in the Teachable. So we are a situation as a press, as an entity, where we have a spine. We have something to lean on. And most of you do too. Most of you have some kind of fandom or group, quilters group, crafting group, homeschooling, something that you have connections to an audience that if you were your authentic self and put out content in that area, you would have a built-in audience. Does that make sense? Lynn, birds, right?
Yep. Can you hear him? He's yelling.
I do. But yeah, if you did some kind of like nonfiction book about your year with a bird and cool bird stuff, you would probably be able to sell like 100 copies just on your reach with bird people.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother kettle of fish. That's nonfiction, which, by the way, we will be teaching in the new year. You will be learning about nonfiction. I'm picking it up, guys. I've been a nonfiction writer I'm finally picking it back up. So that's an added thing in the Accelerator Mastermind. So do I think we can get to 500 people paying us $10 a month to read our books? Yeah, I do. Because I'm not going to shut up about it. So if you'd like to be one of those 500 people, you can go to Future Fiction Press and give us $10. If you like this YouTube, go give us $10 over there. and there's books to read.
Olivia wants me to put out a book about how I survived Florida.
Yes, exactly.
It tried to kill me. It did try to kill me.
As our subscription becomes more successful, we will probably, that is where we'll open it up more for like authors can have their books on our subscription service. Probably not this iteration of it, probably the next iteration of it. Because that involves contracts and various things. And that's also for white authors. Medium subscription path. If we get to 1,500, that's 90,000. High subscriber path. Momentum, still reasonable. 90,000 would be 180,000. This is not virality. This is just 1,500. This is 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So that's just consistency. Now it's looking at the slate per book averages. So if you go with 300 books per year, $4 per sale, that's the $1,200 per book per year that you need to break even. Remember, we always start with break even, because once you know your break even, you can grow, you can go up from that. But if your break even is some ridiculous number, then you got to go back to the drawing board, because if it's not even easy for you to break even, you're not going to make it. So here, the retail revenue by production tier, 48 books at $1,200 a year per book average would be $57,000, 86,000 or 115,000. And that gets split to the authors 20%, and then 80% stays with the press. So putting it together, they're going to do a medium case here. So it's going to assume 6 books a month, backlist 3,000, annual revenue. We're going to go authors, the press at $69,000 for the retail. So this is assuming each book, each 72 books makes $1,200. That's where the 86,000 came from. I'll put it here. Subscription. This is assuming, Chris, you're typing.
My bad.
You don't like muting. Yeah, because even when I type, it makes noise. What is it? Which one is the medium tier? The medium tier here is 1,500 and 750. So I'll add this at the bottom so that we can see it very clearly. This is assuming 1,500 subs by end of year, average of 750 a month. Backlist. So the total press share before costs would be about $114,000. The production costs were $86,000. And this is where you have that $27,000 operating margin. Not sexy. I mean, this is on par with what one person can do with fewer books. The reason for that is because tried to subscribe, it didn't charge me. Yeah, there's a free one. You have to go to the ink one if you want to actually.
No, what?
I'm going to mute you. So yeah, this is before any outperforming averages, any upsells, any backlist growth. I mean, it's assuming that backlist only makes $3,000. So where this is, it's like this model is powerful because it starts with 2 subscribers, 14 sleepy books, and the business still works. And that's the point. AI doesn't necessarily make you rich. It just makes small numbers viable. And then we're going to go to the last thoughts here because we're coming at 2.5 hours. I know I breezed through that plan. We're going to go more in depth with that particular plan with more details tomorrow with anti-gravity. Because then I'll be actually working on a slate and all of that. So I'm actually going to be modeling what does it look like for us to do 6 books a year, 4 books a year, 8 books a year. What does that slate look like, etc. Oh, you chose ink and it didn't charge you. Well, thank you, Anne. I will let Steph know that it didn't charge. She might have set it up not to charge. I don't know. I'll have to find out. But anyway, yes, all of these books are going to be wide. Will they still be on other vendors? Is that revenue taken into account? Yeah. So the $1,200 per book retail means Amazon, Nook, Kobo, Apple, selling it direct on Curios. We're going everywhere. We're going to the moon. I'm not messing around with Kindle Unlimited again. There were people with the press who wanted to try Kindle Unlimited like it was this anathema, like it was just going to good books rise to the top. That's not true. It's a fake myth. There's no such thing as meritocracy in publishing. Okay? There isn't. Great books don't always do well. Really bad books often do great. It's a case, and I have said this for years. If publishing was easy to do and was like you could perfectly predict what's going to happen, we wouldn't even have this opportunity because the trad pub would just kill it every time. So it really is a game of averages. It's like baseball statistics. You really have to know your stats. You have to know if I go up to bat 100 times, how many times am I going to hit a base hit? How many times am I going to strike out? How many times am I going to hit a home run? And is that enough for me to win the game? Is that enough for me to win the pennant? Is that enough for me to win the division? So yeah, Jay says junk food outsells healthy food by volume too. Exactly. Ain't nobody getting excited that broccoli's on sale. Oh, broccoli's on sale. I better get double the amount I usually get. No. So that's the thing. So this is what publishing is. It is a casino. It is a roulette table. It is not Russian roulette. Nobody dies. But it is a roulette table. And you're placing your bets, you know? Think of it, if you want to say, I'm placing my bet on red versus black. If you're placing it on red, you're placing it on romance. If you're placing it on black, you're placing it on any other genre. Because that's how those compete. The individual numbers are like different niches that you're deciding that you're going into on your genre. And obviously, you get one spin at the roulette table, right? So the more chips you have on the table, the better chance you have. And if you think about that roulette table, that little ball spinning around, imagine that being a customer coming into your store. If you have 30 books for them to choose from, it's a lot easier for them to decide, oh, I want one of those 30 versus if you have 2. So that's where this makes. So I have one quick, it's not really quick, but these are just the last thoughts that I want to leave everyone with. So this is like a little bit of a mantra kind of a thing. So if you've made it to the end here, fantastic. Take a breath on your brain. This is going to just sum it all up for you. This is all you need. 10 things. Okay. You can do this. You can compete. You can take on being a publisher. You're going to need a supportive community. That is number 1. Okay. There are free communities supporting creatives and publishers using AI. Make good books that readers want to read. Our rule is make it a book you enjoyed reading. That's the minimum. Do that. That's the start. Next, you need a production plan. Listen, the FFA membership alone, this is just an example, gets you a YFD token that produces 20 chapters. So that's the other thing that I didn't talk about up there, where it has the AI cost at $200 a month. If you have the YFD token, you get a 20 chapter, $40,000 to $65,000 or 65,000 word book each month. You get a free YFD token. You can have 3 at a time. They do expire after 90 days if it's one of the free tokens that comes in. If you buy tokens, it doesn't ever expire. So that's one of the places where you can like cap your AI costs. It's included as part of the membership. In less than 5 hours, if you just let it run, you have 20 to 30 hours if you go, or 20 to 30 chapters if you go chapter by chapter. That alone puts you ahead of the 9 book a year author with 10 hours a week, because you're going to get 12. But you can also use free chats, Raptorite, other tools. The end of the story is track your time, figure out if you are in the window to make it profitable. Wait till Tuesday, then you can spend your tokens, because I'll have a narrative physics engine thing for you guys. Ideas. You're going to need ideas. All of these publishing business models are very forgiving, midless expectations. You're going to need to be commercial. Here's the cool thing that I did not have in 2011 when I got started. You can now take your book cover and throw it into AI, and it will tell you what genre it think it is. And if it's not the genre you think it should have been, you got a problem. What we had to do before that was put the book covers into Facebook groups with a bunch of non-experts, and you would get only 4 or 5 brave people that are willing to tell you to your face, that is a crap cover and you need to redo it. But you'd get a whole bunch of people that would be like, yeah, it's great to get started. Just keep going. Just keep going. Yeah. So if it doesn't know, ask for help on how fixing it. Seriously, this thing scraped the internet and it's got data in there. Use it. You're going to need some time to learn. Investing time to learn DIY used to be kind of a crapshoot. It used to be like, well, it goes back to strengths training. Like, some people could learn graphic design, but they're just never going to be an artist. It's just not going to happen. Thankfully, you have AI to do that. And courage. It's not too late to start. You didn't miss the opportunity. This is a big thing. You're not too late. TradPub passed on AI in 2025. We got another year, baby. We got another year to be ahead of the game. They passed. Okay? So you're still in it. You're going to hear people say, what about the AI slop? There's been slop in the store since day one. We went over 1 million books in 2012. I know, I was there. And those 1 million books, those 8 million books, they don't bother nobody. They just stay where they are. You are going to need haste. Okay? the opportunity for the advantage is shrinking. TradPub passed this year, but then Amazon came out in November with AI translations, and I really feel like that is shots fired. Does anyone think that TradPub's going to pass on AI for another year? No, I don't think so.
I doubt it highly.
Yeah. Bloomsbury has already announced that they're hiring AI and stuff like that. Hachette is starting to do it. So you're going to need your brain. Okay. Yes, your brain. That brain that gives you problems. This is the other big advantage that I love so much. You don't have to be consistent with AI. Thank God. I never could be a consistent writer. I wanted to throw things at Stephen King for saying, get up every morning and write your 1,000 words. No, that never worked for me. I'm a binge writer. I have always been a binge writer. I'm also a binge reader. You know what? Everything in my life, I go hard or not at all. It's just
Yeah.
an off or an on
I'm
button.
2 speeds myself.
Yeah, 2 speeds, on or I'm asleep. You can work in spurts because it's so fast. You can have a month or 2. Go, 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 go. Bank your 3 to 6 books and then take a month off. It's so friendly for those of us who never could get daily or weekly regiments or schedules to work for us. Olivia says she would retire every time. And by the way, we will have an after party in the lab room, just so you guys know. So we will do an after party. I am going to go get some chicken wings that I can smell that my dad's been cooking, though. So I will be eating in front of you, but that's okay. We've been here for 2 hours and 41 minutes. Okay. Honesty with your art. All right. This goes back to that typey thing. You can spend more time on your craft with AI. The dirty little secret is drafting has always been about tossing words on the page. We used to call them vomit drafts or throwaway drafts. Let AI do that part, and then you can spend your 2 hours per chapter on craftsmanship. If you like the typey parts, and Willow, this is for you. I'm a turtle working every single day makes my inner storyteller work deep in my subconscious. It makes each day start easy. That's great. My brain doesn't work like that. But your brain working like that, this will still be good for you because you're still going to need that brain. There are authors who have the AI write the draft, and then last night I showed that feature where you could have the pages side by side. They literally read the AI and they just rewrite it, retype it, rewrite it next to it. They still do the typey. They're just using that as a rough draft to just like, nope, that's not how I write, but I can see the structure and I can write this better. There's nothing wrong with using AI as a hold my beer. I can do better than you. You can use it as a competitor. Christine's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Christine doesn't have a hard time making words though. She writes very long chapters if you let her.
I love my darlings and my subplots.
You're going to need AI to be your calculator. It's going to need to do some work for you. It can compile your monthly expenses. It can compile your stats. You can throw your sales data in there and it can compile what books have been doing better and not. It reads CSV files. It does all that jazz. So you no longer have to know business math to do a model. I used to teach this. What we just did tonight, I used to teach it as like a multi-section class. People would have to do it all by hand, figuring out how many hours they have to work. I mean, I did it a lot since 2018. We actually called this standard deviation a hug bubble. We just did massive amounts of analysis and calculation in 2.5 hours that would usually take a week or more for someone to prepare and like present. So you can become an MBA level analyst of your own business with just a few pieces of data in the AI in a chat. And that's huge for authors and publishers who are better at crafting a story and not a spreadsheet formula. You all said you hate spreadsheets. And then finally, I'm going to say that you need openness to be marveled. We are still in a nascent technology, and TradPub hasn't even adopted this yet. Major small presses haven't adopted this yet. Major groups of indie authors have not been willing to speak openly about. We just got to the point now that when someone like throws a little tantrum about AI, people are just now starting to in the comments and being like, oh, come on, get over it. It's not going anywhere. Like that's where we are in the shift. We are not even in the shift yet of like 100 books to 50K or whatever the new mark, whatever that's going to be. So there is a lot of doom and gloom. And even a strong possibility that happens. And Christine liked this one, so I'm going to let her say that line. But it's definitely going to happen.
Sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, but it's definitely going to happen if no one steps up and says we can have the future instead, and we'd love you to join us in that movement. So of creating the future for publishing using AI.
Yeah. We get to decide. Just because I can get it done in 20 hours doesn't mean I need to go twice as doesn't mean I need to do twice as much with 40 hours. You just do it in 20.
Right.
Take the other 20 off. Go be a
Yep,
human.
we can set the standards. Yep.
Yeah, go be a human. And this is how you can run an author business with AI in 2026. Hopefully that helped everyone. Tomorrow we are going to make anti-gravity our huckleberry. And if you don't know what that means, I have a nice little clip for you. So we made it. Woo! Human in the loop. Human in the loop. I'll have to make that a song, Rachel. Human in the loop. We need a song about that. So I like Jay. Join us or watch us. Either way, we're doing it. We survived math. Yay. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I actually like math. That's my secret. I love math. What? You don't think I love math, Christine?
No, I believe you love math. I do, or you like math. I do.
I like math.
That's
Somebody
just how I
has
feel
to.
about math. Yeah,
Somebody
somebody
has
has to.
Huh? What, Christine?
No, I mean, that's just my feeling is about math, which is not so much.
Make that face again.
Thanks. Mm-mm.
I
Not for
don't
me.
like that. Yeah, I think that this is going to be a fun year. I'm excited for 2026. I'm excited for all of our new toys. Skew Lights, good jobs. You did editing and accounting. Damn, girl. You're just killing it. You're just killing it. That's
Mhm.
amazing. That's amazing. So yeah, make AI do your math. Make the AI do all the things you don't want to do. If you like the typey bit, don't let the AI do the typey bit. You do the typey bit. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, we are going to go head into our lab room for our after party and talk this all out. Tomorrow, the live is at, somebody help me. I don't know. Is it 3? I think it's 3 o'clock. 3 p.m.
Oh, that sounds right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Rachel says have the AI do the plotty bit. Yeah, if you want to do the typey, make it do the plotty.
That's yep. Yes. Yeah. 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock
12:28.
Eastern time. Kim Gordon will be here, so we'll be doing some anti-gravity.
Love Kim.
It's
She's
going to be
great.
great. I've got some prep work to do tonight in the morning for all of this. So we're not going to write a book with anti-gravity. No, we're going to use anti-gravity and that's because I don't like the books that are coming out of anti-gravity. I'm going to be a snob. I'm just going to say, I don't like the quality of the writing. For me, I'm not thrilled. And also that's the people who are getting good books out of anti-gravity. That is not a YouTube. Like that is a lot of, not because it can't be, it really wouldn't work well as a YouTube. It's people are learning this like over multiple sessions. So tomorrow we're just going to do an introduction to anti-gravity, using it for, I have the same struggle with anti-gravity. So I'm with you. And I think it comes from the coding. It's a longer conversation. Anyway, tomorrow we'll be using anti-gravity to use these business plans, these business models to start planning production and slates and maybe even some plots. I like anti-gravity for plotting. I like it for making narrative physics engines. Yes, you can be making some narrative physics engines tomorrow with your anti-gravity. So I'll be sharing a lot of prompts and stuff like that for tomorrow. And it's all going to be about, it's going to be all about building that business plan, how to like use anti-gravity. And then the other thing cool about anti-gravity, because it is a coder, it is a very souped up calculator. I'm going to show you how you can do like a journal entry. Like you can be like in captain's log, this happened and that happened and this happened and this happened. You'd be like, hey, anti-gravity, fix my plan because these things happened. And it can just do it. It'll just rewrite all your plans. And you can even tell it, you better save my old plan in this folder, and you better make a new folder and make a new plan. This is version 1.2. Do you know the value for your business if you can keep track of things as you go through the year, your lessons learned, your obstacles, what your pitfalls were, what your wins were? Having that analysis so easily at your fingertips is going to make you so nimble. So nimble. So I'm excited. The little business coach in me, and so I'm like, let's go. We're going to be in the lab room. After parties are in the lab room. So I'll leave you guys with a song. Chris, you want to pick a song, or you don't know the songs? That's okay. Should we do? I think we're going to do Right on Time.
That works.
Huh?
Yep.
That works.
Right on time. All right, here we go. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Blue light, black tea, cursor drums on 3. Little secret language, ghost keys, low key, vibe code, soft glow, sidebar, halo. I say teach me slow, and it says let go. Kept the door locked, key on a string. Said too late, still the bell would ring. I keep the sparks, make one fire. Best part stitched, pulling higher. Didn't know code, I know shine. Thought I was late, I'm right on time. Right on, right on, right on time. Draft towns, dead ends, map bends, it mends. Windows up, winds in, one flame, no spin. Thread line, faint hum, quiet becomes echo room now sings. Gold spine, one thing. All my cans turn ash in the breeze. Lowercase blooming, soft release. I keep the sparks, make one fire. Best part stitched, pulling higher. Didn't know code, I know shine. Thought I was late, I'm right on time. Right on, right on, right on time. Paper gates, my clock's to set. Count to 8, don't forget. Pieces, places, future mine. Tick, tick, drop. A line. Not too late, no, not this life. Found the door, crossed the line. I keep the sparks, one bright fire. Underline truth, cut the wire. Didn't know code, I know shine. No, I'm not late, I'm right on time. Right on. Right on time.
Thank you, everyone, so much. I will see you in the after party if you are a member of the Accelerator or the Mastermind. And Lynn here is one of the leaders of the Accelerator, so I know she is anxious to see you in her community classes coming in the new year. Do you have community classes next week?
I do.
On the schedule.
haven't-
Okay.
I haven't put them on the calendar yet, I don't think, because
Gotcha. Bye, Jude. Bye, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.
bye. Take care.